Chapter 1336. He actually showed up. Interesting, Datura mumbled. Dark underworld heaven monarch. How can he come here so openly? Misty Rain waved his hand and set up a barrier. It's simple. Some people can just turn a blind eye to his presence. This time, he should be here for the remains of the wind-fire dragon. His secondary attribute is wind, and the remains of the wind-fire dragon are very suitable for him, Datura said. Aluo, are you talking about the black-clothed man in the room diagonally across from us? Night Sorrow asked. He couldn't tell how strong the black-clothed man was, which meant that he was a powerful figure. That's right. He's an assassin called Dark Underworld Heaven Monarch. He's quite strong. He once bullied Li Tianhu of the Black Fiend Valley so much that he didn't dare to leave the Black Fiend Valley. He's good at assassination, so he's quite difficult to deal with. Datura nodded. I don't care who he is. If the price is not right, I won't trade, Night Sorrow said. But he'll be a hindrance. After he makes a bid, those who were sincere about trading with you won't dare to make another bid. They won't dare to offend him, Datura said. Night Sorrow also understood that this was the power of deterrence. Ordinary cultivators wouldn't dare to go against a powerful figure, because they wouldn't know when their heads would move. Don't worry. Let's see if he can force it. Datura's face turned cold. Aluo, why was the first battle blade sold for only 30,000 Saint Spirit stones? Night Sorrow asked. That's a common item. The price is high. The price just now was already quite good. How many Saint Spirit stones did I get from blackmailing Zhang Taiyang? Datura said with a smile. The auction proceeded in an orderly manner. There was no trash here, because the auction items had all been appraised and checked before they were brought in. There were no fakes, and they were only auctioned after their value was confirmed. As all cultivators know, the bones of high-level king rankyao beasts are very hard to come by. Right now, we have the bones of a monarch rank 2-headed Icefire Wyrm. Aside from the Icefire Wyrm's core, the rest of the bones are still here. However, this skeleton is being auctioned off through bartering. We can only exchange it for a space-type magic treasure with the ability to accelerate time. As for the difference in value between the two, we can make up for the difference. The auctioneer shook the space-type magic treasure in his hand and brought out the 2-headed Icefire Wyrm's corpse. The gigantic corpse of the 2-headed Icefire Wyrm lay coiled in the middle of the field. Demonic beasts below the king level might rot after death, but demonic beasts at the king level contained extremely pure energy and would not rot easily. The 2-headed Icefire Wyrm's corpse was almost complete. Of course, the Icefire Wyrm's core had been taken away by Night Sorrow and given to Wu Lingfei. Looking at the 2-headed Icefire Wyrm, many people were whispering. They could not afford the exchange. Not everyone had space-type magic treasures. After a while, an old man stood up and said, I have a magic treasure that can accelerate time by 5 times. Without the core of the 2-headed Icefire Wyrm, it is equivalent to losing the most precious item. Therefore, the value of the two items is about the same. I wonder if it is possible to exchange for it. The auctioneer nodded and said, then please take a look at this 2-headed Icefire Wyrm skeleton first. Also, please remove the ownership of the space-type magic treasure temporarily. We want to bring it to the owner of this 2-headed Icefire Wyrm skeleton. Subsequently, the old man took out a space-type magic treasure that looked like a small attic and handed it to the auctioneer. The auctioneer took the space-type magic treasure and went to find Manager Meng. Manager Meng sighed and took the treasure to Night Sorrow's VIP room. He knew that if Night Sorrow was willing to make the exchange, it would be difficult for the Dark Underworld Heaven Monarch to obtain the Windfire Wyrm skeleton at a low price. After inspecting it, Night Sorrow found that it was not bad. The space inside was the size of a courtyard and could accommodate dozens of people cultivating at the same time. Comparing the inside and outside, it was indeed 5 times faster. Okay, I will exchange with him. There was no problem with the space-type magic treasure, so Night Sorrow planned to exchange it. The two-headed Icefire Wyrm's corpse was not very useful to him. After glancing at Datura, Manager Meng said, "If this is valued at 30,000 sacred spirit stones, His Highness Night Sorrow will have to pay 3,000 sacred spirit stones as commission." After taking out 3,000 sacred spirit stones, Night Sorrow looked at Manager Meng and said, "This magic treasure is mine, right?" "Yes, it is now His Highness Night Sorrow's." The two-headed Icefire Wyrm will be handed over to him. Manager Meng nodded. Only one original _, all others equals #pirated. Okay, that's it then. Night Sorrow kept the space-type magic treasure. Manager Meng also left the VIP room. This space-type magic treasure is worth at least 100,000 to 200,000 sacred spirit stones. He charged you 3,000 as commission, which is considered very low, Misty Rain said. That's because he knows what's good for him. Otherwise, would have checked the accounts. Who knows who is having a hard time? Datura snorted coldly. Manager Meng was also helpless. He knew very well that if he did not handle today's matter well, there would be a lot of trouble. Therefore, he only charged Night Sorrow a small commission as a token. Manager Meng really wanted to communicate with the Dark Underworld Sky Lord and tell him about the Master's situation. However, if he did anything now, Datura would know immediately and their relationship would be exposed. Everyone knew that he was the retainer of the Thunderfire Heaven Lord. Night Sorrow, now that you have exchanged for a space-type magic treasure, you can leave the remains of the Windfire Wyrm behind, Misty Rain said. If there is a suitable one, I will exchange for it. I will throw in a space-type magic treasure for the 9 domains world and one for the 9 floors building. Whoever wants to cultivate can go in. This way, it won't cause any delay, Night Sorrow said. Extravagant. Looking at all the high-level king in the world, no one can be as extravagant as you. Not even the Sky Pillar. Giving 2 space-type magic treasures to the people around you. Other than you, no one else can do it, Datura said as he looked at Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow smiled and didn't say anything. He watched as the old man took away the corpse of the two-headed Icefire Wyrm. After that, it was time to auction the pills. There were many other pills, but Night Sorrow didn't want to buy them. He had his own materials and could make high-level king pills. However, no one bought Night Sorrow's pills. They were all unsold. Night Sorrow's pills weren't for cultivation. They were for changing one's foundation. Ordinary materials couldn't be exchanged for them. Night Sorrow didn't want Holy Spirit stones. Night Sorrow still had a few 100,000 Holy Spirit stones in stock. It was enough for now. When he needed to set up the 9 domains world's great city barrier array, it wouldn't be too late to study the Holy Spirit stones. As he had the resources, it wouldn't be a problem to exchange them for Holy Spirit stones. Night Sorrow, everyone wants your pills, but you only want materials. That's a scam, Datura said with a smile. Then let's keep them. The people around us can slowly eat them in the future. Night Sorrow didn't care if his pills were auctioned or not. After the auction items were auctioned, it was time for the finale. The auction of the Windfire Wyrm skeleton. The auctioneer took out the Windfire Wyrm skeleton and placed it in the middle of the auction hall. However, the photographer's words were interrupted halfway. Dark Underworld Heavenly Monarch walked out of the VIP room. I want the Windfire Wyrm skeleton. Isn't it just a space-type magic treasure that can accelerate time? I'll pay. The 10th update had arrived. Another explosion. Thank you for your support. This is my reward for you, brother. Chapter 1337. The Dark Underworld Heaven Monarch directly said that he was a Heaven Monarch. His meaning was obvious, I'm a Heaven Monarch. Don't be blind. If you dare to rob me, I'll kill you. Manager Meng came out. Oh, it's the Dark Underworld Heaven Monarch. Please take a seat. I'll make the arrangements. Show me your spatial treasure. Manager Meng felt that it was time for him to appear. Now that a powerful figure had appeared, he naturally had to come out to receive him. Take a look. It's a treasure that can accelerate time by 5 times. The Dark Underworld Heaven Monarch took out a treasure and threw it to Manager Meng. The Thunder Fire Heaven Monarch gave him a spatial treasure that could accelerate time by 7 times, but he didn't take it out. He felt that a spatial treasure that could accelerate time by 5 times was enough. If he didn't want it, he would kill him and rob him after leaving the auction house. There's no need to look. I won't trade for a spatial treasure that can accelerate time by 5 times. Night Sorrow walked out of the VIP room and said to the Dark Underworld Heaven Monarch. You won't trade? You think it's too low? Let me tell you something. Sometimes, you have to quit while you're ahead. If you're alive, you have to pay a high price. If you're not, you have to pay a high price. The Dark Underworld Heaven Monarch looked at Night Sorrow coldly and said. You dare to threaten him? If you leave the auction house, I'll kill you. Datura appeared. She was very angry. Datura, this has nothing to do with you, right? The Dark Underworld Heaven Monarch frowned. He had been paying attention to the Wind Fire Dragon skeleton and didn't notice the situation here. It was mainly because Datura and the other 2 were in the VIP room. It doesn't matter. He's my man. What do you think? You threatened him. If I don't teach you a lesson, I won't be Datura. You can see if I'm that idiot Li Tianhu. I'll also see if your head is as hard as Zhang Taiyang's. Datura's eyes were full of killing intent. Don't scare me. It's meaningless. I'm alone. I'm not afraid of you. The Dark Underworld Heaven Monarch said. Haha. Who do you think you are? Don't think that I don't know. You are acting all high and mighty now. I will wait here for you to come out of the auction. Datura sneered. My lords, there is no need to be angry. We can talk about this slowly. Manager Meng stood up and acted as a peacemaker. Scram. There's nothing for you to do here. Night Sorrow, go and retrieve the Wind Fire Dragon skeleton. Today, we'll have some fun with them. Datura had a hollowed blade in her hand. As long as the dark world moved, she would make a move. She did not make the first move because violence was forbidden in the auction house. This was the rule of all auction houses. Samsara City also had a joint prohibition. Heavenly Monarch of the Dark Underworld? You should know that he's from the Qing Emperor's dynasty, yet he still wants to buy it by force. How arrogant, Misty Rain said. This is a misunderstanding. Since he's from your side, I don't care about the Wind Fire Dragon skeleton. You don't have to be hostile to me. This is how the world works. The strong prey on the weak, right? Just pretend that I've never been here. The Dark Underworld Heaven Monarch glanced at Night Sorrow and said. Dark Underworld, I, Datura, will tell you the truth today. You are lucky that others don't care about you when you offend them. If you don't want to die, you'd better be smart. There are some people that you can't afford to offend. No matter who is behind you, I won't give face to him. Scram. Datura yelled and did not give face to the Dark Underworld Heaven Monarch. +4 original auction, Datura, I will remember your words. So will you. After glaring at Datura, the Dark Underworld Heaven Monarch walked out of the auction house. He couldn't afford to offend Datura because Datura had a glorious battle record. When the Dark Underworld walked out of the auction house, Datura chased after him. Trash, how dare you talk back to me? I'll kill you. The Dark Underworld meant that he would remember what happened today. Datura couldn't hold back his anger. Seeing the Dark Underworld walking out of the auction house, Datura waved his blade and attacked the Dark Underworld Heaven Monarch. The Dark Underworld Heaven Monarch waved his sword and fought back. If he ran away without a fight, he would lose all his face. As their weapons clashed, the Dark Underworld Heaven Monarch was pushed back. He wasn't good at fighting head-on. What he was good at was assassination. With the help of Datura's genuine chi, the dark underworld heaven monarch naturally couldn't withstand it. Then, Datura suppressed the dark underworld heaven monarch and slashed with his hollow blade again and again. How dare you show off with such strength? Datura directly used the death destruction slash. The dark underworld heaven monarch, how dare you show yourself? Die. With a roar, a blade light slashed toward the dark underworld heaven monarch. However, it also blocked Datura's attack path and interrupted Datura's momentum. Lei Hua, I'm not done with you. The dark underworld heaven monarch was pushed back by the slash. He roared and disappeared into the night. Where do you think you're going? Lei Hua stood up and started to chase. Datura turned around and looked at Misty Rain. Did you see that? It's a monkey show. These two are putting on a monkey show with me. Night Sorrow, have you packed your things? Yes. Night Sorrow nodded. Then let's go back to the courtyard and have a rest. Let's see how you explain this to me after the monkey show is over. Datura didn't chase because she didn't want to fall out with the heaven monarch. Actually, it doesn't matter. We already know what happened. Misty Rain said. That's right. It's not necessary. Next time when we choose the Castellan, we'll kick him out. Datura nodded and walked toward the teleportation formation with Misty Rain and Night Sorrow. The three of them directly returned to the Qing Emperor's city and went to the Jiuchong building. Very dirty. I didn't expect the Heaven Monarch to be like this. Misty Rain couldn't believe it. She hadn't been in the world of samsara for millions of years and wasn't clear about some things. It doesn't matter. Let him jump around. Next time, we'll kick him out and make him the Castellan. Is he qualified to be the Castellan? Datura snorted. It shouldn't be a problem. Now we have the right to speak. Night Sorrow said. Currently, in the world of samsara, the Qing Emperor dynasty was the strongest. It had changed from one heaven master to 3. In addition, it was allied with the Red Emperor country and the Dark Abyss. This strength wasn't something that could be challenged by any force, not even the Celestial sect. We'll talk about it when the time comes. But you have to be careful. Some hypocrites are unscrupulous. Those two are in cahoots. Later, I'll send someone to investigate their background and the situation in recent years. If that dark world dares to come to the eastern district of the world of samsara, we'll kill him directly. Datura said. She was angry that someone had threatened Night Sorrow. Aluo, there's nothing to be angry about. He threatened me because I'm not strong enough. When I'm strong enough, no one will bully me like this. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Everyone wants to save face, but what are those things? No, I'll send someone to investigate the whereabouts of this dark world and find a chance to kill him. Datura still didn't want to give up. She was very angry now. At this moment, the Heaven Monarch of Thunder Fire and the Heaven Monarch of Dark World left the Samsara city one after another and arrived at the Qianshan mountain in the north of the city. Junior brother, what happened? How did you offend Datura? The Heaven Monarch of Thunder Fire was very angry. Chapter 1338. Didn't you say that there was only Misty Rain? If there was only Misty Rain, things wouldn't be so difficult. Who knew that a lunatic like Datura would appear? The most incomprehensible thing was that Datura was willing to fight to the death with me for that brat. Dark Heaven Lord was also very annoyed. If he had known that it would involve Datura, he definitely wouldn't have done so. This is a mistake in the information. How about this? Don't show up for a while and find a place to hide. Thunder Fire Heaven Lord said. He was very annoyed because he knew that Datura would see something else. If Dark Heaven Lord wasn't his junior brother and had always been his assistant, he would have destroyed Dark Heaven Lord now to give Mandala an explanation and prove his innocence. Well, sorry for the trouble. The dark underworld heaven monarch handed the spatial treasure to the thunder fire heaven monarch and retreated into the night. Thunder fire returned to the auction house. When he learned that Datura had left, his expression changed. This meant that Datura didn't need him to explain. It meant that Datura had his own considerations. *% is the only genuine copy. The others are all pirated copies. This result made Thunderfire even angrier. If he had known that it would be so complicated, he would have rather made a normal transaction and paid a little blood. Because he really needed the skeleton of the wind fire dragon, but he didn't have the chance now. Helpless, Thunderfire could only wait and see. At this moment, he couldn't do anything. Night Sorrow arrived at Sky Tiger Pass and told the members of the God-slaying team that he would place a time acceleration treasure in the city in the sky later. If their state of mind was fine, they could go back and cultivate. Night Sorrow then sent Datura back to the dark abyss and returned to the city in the sky. He took out the space acceleration treasure and said, "Xueshi, now that you have comprehended the will, your doppelganger is fine. Take this space acceleration treasure and refine it. Our people can enter and cultivate if they want to. You will be in charge of this. Is this appropriate?" Xueshi looked at Sikom Chuyu and the other two and asked. "There's nothing inappropriate about it. You can refine it. I've left enough Holy Spirit stones inside," Night Sorrow said. After giving his instructions, Night Sorrow returned to Nine Chong Building. On Night Sorrow's return to the 9-story tower, he studied the array formation. He studied the 9 underworld slaughtering divine dragon tiger array because he wanted to set up the array formation in the 9 domains world in the future to protect the supreme sky city and the city in the sky. Misty Rain stayed in the 9 Chong pagoda and often guided her children in their cultivation. In addition, Night Sorrow also told Jun Xuanji to send people to the 9th level 9 firmament world group to investigate the surroundings of the sky profound world and see what kind of worlds there were. Night Sorrow could not give up on repairing the spacetime pagoda, which was also known as the Haotian Divine Pagoda. A heavenly axiom artifact was extremely rare, not to mention that it was a defensive type artifact. Its value was immeasurable, and it was mainly suitable for Night Sorrow. Yi Shan needed clues. Only with clues would he be able to search properly. Another thing was the overall situation. The alliance led by the Celestial Sect was completely shattered. Both the Burning Heaven Tower and the Martial God Palace knew about the losses of the Celestial Sect. The most important thing was that it was very difficult for them to do anything now. After fighting for so long, they had always been at a disadvantage. Originally, when the Qing Emperor was in trouble, they could still see some hope. After the Qing Emperor appeared, their hope was still there. The situation was stabilized, but Night Sorrow did not plan to let it end like this. After all, the other party had joined forces to attack the Qing Emperor's dynasty first. If they did not give the Qing Emperor face, they naturally had to fight back. This time, they did not join forces with anyone. Night Sorrow ordered the 9 Heavens army to fight. The secret guards were sent out to assassinate. Their target was the Black Fiend Valley. The Black Fiend Valley was the first to withdraw from the Celestial Sect's alliance. The Celestial Sect and the others would not care about attacking the Black Fiend Valley. They would first pick an isolated force to declare war on, and then destroy them one by one. This was Night Sorrow's strategy. The 9 Heavens army was the main force, and the Green Qilin and Green Phoenix army were the support. They directly attacked the Black Fiend Valley. The assassination of the secret guards also made Li Tianba badly battered because he could not defend. Summer City mobilized the secret guards to assassinate, and he himself stayed by Night Sorrow's side. After hearing the report, Night Sorrow looked at Summer City. If we don't do something ruthless, they will continue to resist. Assassinate important people. That Li Ying, if we have the chance, kill him. Wasn't he very arrogant in the past? He even came to our 9 grand floors to capture people. Night Sorrow remembered Li Ying's matter. At that time, he was very aggressive and came looking for trouble with him several times. He even fought his way to the 9 grand floors, so Night Sorrow planned to take his life. Summer City accepted the order and went to make the arrangements. If Night Sorrow said so, he would make the arrangements. Mother, junior brother is very vengeful. Green Phoenix, who was listening to Night Sorrow's arrangements, said. If you don't take revenge, you are not a gentleman. If you go overboard, then you have to pay the price. Misty Rain supported Night Sorrow. Senior sister, you have the nerve to say that. At that time, none of you cared about me, and I was killed in the 9 grand floors, Night Sorrow said unhappily. The situation at that time was different from now. I think that after we kill this guy, the Black Fiend Valley will compromise, Green Phoenix said. That's why we want them to submit. We want them to compromise. Then, we will deal with the Burning Sky Tower. The Burning Sky Tower is also very arrogant. They even joined forces with the Celestial Sect to attack us. Naturally, we will fight back, Night Sorrow said. Misty Rain nodded. She knew that Night Sorrow wanted to deal with the Celestial Sect the most. Currently, he was enduring because of his concerns. Half a month later, 2 of the secret guards returned. They told Night Sorrow that Li Ying had been killed. Okay, continue to assassinate. Let's see how long they can last, Night Sorrow said. At this time, in the main hall of the Black Fiend Valley, Li Tianhu and Li Tianba were sitting in a meeting. It seems that the Qing Emperor's dynasty won't let us go. This was the wrong decision back then. Now, the Celestial Sect doesn't dare to continue to invade the Qing Emperor's dynasty. The Burning Sky Tower can't even take care of itself. I really didn't expect the Qing Emperor's dynasty to develop so quickly, Li Tianba said with some annoyance. Big brother, things aren't good now. It's useless even if we ask for help. The puppets of the Celestial Sect have been destroyed one after another. Their strength has dropped to the freezing point. It's impossible for them to join forces with us, Black Fiend Valley said. The Celestial Sect is trash. They were so happy back then. Now that they are hurt by the Qing Emperor's dynasty, they don't dare to say anything, Li Tianba said. The Burning Sky Tower is the same. The Qing Emperor's dynasty declared war on us. Later, it will probably be the Burning Sky Tower. We have to make a choice now. I think that if we apologize now, we can coexist peacefully in the future, Li Tianba said. That's the only way. It's unrealistic to find allies. No one in the reincarnation world is willing to fight against the Qing Emperor's dynasty, Li Tianhu said. Then we can only swallow it. We can only talk peacefully. Li Tianba sighed. Li Tianba didn't show up. Li Tianhu went to the Qing Emperor's dynasty and went to the Nine Chong building to look for Night Sorrow. Black Fiend Valley had to admit defeat. Black Fiend Valley couldn't withstand the attacks of the Qing Emperor's dynasty. Therefore, they could only think of a way to make peace. Second update. Chapter 1339. The difference in strength was obvious. The Black Fiend Valley could not withstand the attack of the Qing Emperor's dynasty. If the Heaven Masters took action, the Qing Emperor's dynasty's Heaven Masters would also take action. By then, there would be no possibility of compromise. Hence, Li Tianba and Li Tianhu had been commanding the battle, but they did not take action. This was the restraint of the unspoken rules. In a battle between Heaven Masters, if the Heaven Masters did not take action, the other party would not take action either. However, if the Heaven Masters took action and killed the other party's troops, then it would be a battle to the death. This was completely different from when Sandalwood came to take revenge. War had its own rules. Li Tianhu did not beat around the bush. A loss was a loss. Who asked him to be so blind? Now that he had lost, he had to pay the price. If he lost face, then it was a loss. Li Tianhu greets Misty Rain. I am representing the Black Fiend Valley to negotiate with the Qing Emperor's dynasty. Li Tianhu saluted Misty Rain. Night Sorrow is in charge of the Qing Emperor's dynasty now. You have to tell him about this, Misty Rain said. Valley Master Li, please take a seat. Someone come and serve tea. Night Sorrow saluted Li Tianhu. Killing someone was just a matter of nodding. The other party had admitted defeat, so he did not have to make things difficult for them. Night Sorrow's highness is very capable. I'm impressed. Li Tianhu cupped his hands towards Yi Shang before sitting down. Normally, Night Sorrow was a junior, while Li Tianhu and the Qing Emperor were heaven masters of the same level. They should not return the courtesy. However, Night Sorrow was representing the Qing Emperor's dynasty now. Since Valley Master Li is here, then let's talk about who was in the wrong and who lost the battle. Valley Master Li, please tell us about the Black Fiend Valley's attitude now, Night Sorrow said. Yes, there is no need to talk about who was in the wrong. It is meaningless. How about this? The Black Fiend Valley is willing to pay the price to ask the Qing Emperor's dynasty to withdraw their troops and live in peace in the future, Li Tianhu said. The losses in war are human lives, resources, and financial resources. The Qing Emperor's dynasty has suffered great losses recently. It is simply unbearable, Night Sorrow sighed and said. Li Tianhu's eyes twitched. What did he mean by the Qing Emperor's dynasty had suffered great losses? In the recent war, the Qing Emperor's dynasty was suppressing the Black Fiend Valley, so they did not suffer any losses. Now that Night Sorrow said this, it was a sign of an exorbitant demand. If the Black Fiend Valley did not compensate for the losses mentioned by Night Sorrow, they would not let this matter rest. The Black Fiend Valley has also suffered great losses. Of course, we only have ourselves to blame. Therefore, the Black Fiend Valley will compensate for the losses of the Qing Emperor's dynasty. Please be magnanimous, Your Highness Night Sorrow, Li Tianhu said. Xuanji, please calculate the losses of the Qing Emperor's dynasty. Night Sorrow said to Jun Xuanji, who was standing at the side. He did not know how much compensation was appropriate. Or rather, how much compensation was appropriate. Night Sorrow did not know, but someone did. Jun Xuanji was a professional and knew the situation of the Black Fiend Valley. He knew how much compensation was appropriate. Jun Xuanji nodded at Night Sorrow and went to the table to start calculating. After a while, he cupped his hands at Night Sorrow and said, the Qing Emperor's dynasty's losses are about 2 million Saint Spirit stones. However, the Black Fiend Valley's losses are also great. We will bear a portion of the losses ourselves. The compensation cannot be less than 1,500,000 Saint Spirit stones. Valley Lordly, this is the situation. If this loss is not compensated, I, the soldiers of the Qing Emperor's dynasty, the officials of the Qing Emperor's dynasty, and my master will not be able to answer, Night Sorrow said. Li Tianhu was already cursing in his heart. Answer my ass. Currently, the Qing Emperor's dynasty, and the Blood Emperor's Sandalwood seclusion. Misty Rain did not care about anything. Only Night Sorrow was in charge. There was no need to answer to anyone. Okay, I will go back and discuss this with my brother. I will give Your Highness a reply, Li Tianhu said. Li Tianhu left, and Night Sorrow politely sent him to the teleportation array. After returning to the Nine Chong Buildings Hall, Night Sorrow looked at Jun Xuanji. 1,500,000 Saint Spirit stones. Can they afford it? This number is appropriate. If it's too much, they won't be able to pay it. If it's too little, we'll lose out. This number is just right to make them feel uncomfortable, but it's also within the acceptable range, Jun Xuanji said. Then, should we stop the attack for now? Summer City asked. How can we stop it? If we stop it, they won't feel any pressure and will argue with us. If we order them to increase the attack slightly, they will naturally send the 1,500,000 Saint Spirit stones over if they can't afford it, Night Sorrow said. Summer City, you've followed His Majesty for countless years. Now, you're following Night Sorrow. Both His Majesty and Night Sorrow's strategies are top-notch. Why can't you learn anything? Misty Rain said. Sister-in-law, Summer City really isn't that talented. In the future, it's better to listen to orders and not talk too much, Summer City said helplessly. Night Sorrow continued to study the battle against the Burning Sky Tower. He felt that the celestial sect might interfere, but the interference wouldn't be too strong. First of all, the celestial sect's strength had decreased a lot. They had only destroyed 2 Titan-level puppets. If they wanted to stop the Qing Emperor's dynasty from attacking the Burning Sky Tower, the celestial sect would have to use their final trump card. It was the rank 9 skeleton that no one knew the use and power of. Look at the original chapter section. B above equals everyone knew that the celestial sect's trump card wasn't that easy to use. It might require a huge price, or it could only be used once. If the rank 9 skeleton could be used casually, then the world of samsara would belong to the celestial sect. There was no doubt about it. Li Tianhu returned to the Black Fiend Valley and told Li Tianba about the Qing Emperor's dynasty's request. They're so calculative. They really know our resources. Li Tianba sighed. 1,500,000 Saint Spirit stones was a huge loss to the Black Fiend Valley. They had already lost the battle and lost a lot of people. Their resources would also be damaged. At this time, someone came to report that the city lord and elders of a city had been killed. The furious Qilin army of the 9 Heavens Legion had destroyed another city. We didn't reject their request. Why are they still killing? Li Tianhu roared. He was very angry. Don't be angry. Knight Sorrow isn't a kid who just came out of the Jianghu. He's very good at strategy. Whether we agree or not, the battle won't stop until the resources are delivered, Li Tianba said. Li Tianba had no choice but to let Li Tianhu bring the 1 million Saint Spirit stones stored in the Black Fiend Valley to the Qing Emperor's dynasty first. The remaining 500,000 would be delivered within 7 days. After receiving the Saint Spirit stones from Li Tianhu, Knight Sorrow stood up. The battle has caused great losses to both sides. I'm very sorry that the Black Fiend Valley has to spend so much money. Then, Your Highness, please ask the 9 Heavens Legion and the Dark Guards to retreat. We're still suffering losses, Li Tianhu said. Summer City, what are you doing? Didn't Knight Sorrow ask you to stop the operation? Misty Rain glared at Summer City. I'm very sorry. We didn't handle this matter well. How about this, Uncle Summer? Please ask our men to retreat and prepare for war, Knight Sorrow said. There's no need to prepare for war. This matter will be resolved very well. Li Tianhu was very depressed. He was a big shot, but he couldn't ignore Knight Sorrow's threats. I believe that Valley Masterly will send other compensation 7 days later. However, the Qing Emperor's dynasty still has other matters to attend to. We need to prepare for war, Knight Sorrow stood up and said. Third watch. Chapter 1340. There's still the war. Li Tianhu mumbled and didn't say anything else. He knew that after the Black Fiend Valley, there would be another unlucky party. It would either be the Celestial Sect or the Burning Sky Tower. After getting Knight Sorrow's promise to retreat, Li Tianhu returned to the Black Fiend Valley and told Li Tianba about this matter. Big brother, will they fight to the death with the Celestial Sect? If both sides suffer heavy losses, then we still have a chance, Li Tianhu said. Don't have any wishful thinking. The eastern region of the world of reincarnation is unshakable. So what if the Celestial Sect uses their trump card? You know the results of our investigation. That brat is a realm lord. He has his own world that he can completely control. If the Celestial Sect uses their trump card, they might be able to suppress the eastern region of the world of reincarnation. But if they can't completely destroy it, then the Celestial Sect will be destroyed when the Qing Emperor's empire counterattacks, Li Tianba said. Li Tianba didn't have any wishful thinking because the results of his investigation were terrifying. Knight Sorrow was a realm lord. As long as his original body was in his own world, he wouldn't be destroyed. No one would be able to invade the 9 regions world. Then we'll admit defeat. We can't touch the Qing Emperor's empire now. Li Tianhu also felt powerless. Let the other cities send over the Saint Spirit stones. After this matter is settled, we can focus on our own development. A realm lord with a virtuous body is blessed by the heavens. Scheming against him is disadvantageous to our own luck. That Zhang Taiyang is an example. If we can't afford to offend him, can't we just avoid him? Li Tianba understood that Night Sorrow wouldn't have a good ending. Night Sorrow was making battle plans because the war with the Burning Sky Tower was about to start. 7 days later, Li Tianba and Li Tianhu came together. Now that the matter had been resolved, Li Tianba wanted to clarify the matter. Now that the Qing Emperor's dynasty's losses have been dealt with, this matter is over. However, there are some things that I have to make clear. I, Night Sorrow, am not a troublemaker. We won't look for trouble with the Black Fiend Valley anymore. However, the Black Fiend Valley shouldn't interfere with the Qing Emperor's dynasty's affairs. Don't join the battle as soon as we start a war with someone. If that happens, we'll still end up on the opposite side. Then, our efforts will be in vain, Night Sorrow said. That won't happen. We can get along well in the future. If His Highness Night Sorrow conquers the world and needs help, just call for Black Fiend Valley and we'll be there, Li Tianba said. Good. With the Valley Master's words, the matter was settled. I, Night Sorrow, am deeply sorry for what happened this time. Night Sorrow stood up and cupped his hands. He could tell that Li Tianba was not lying. F forever free look small say after sending Li Tianba off, Misty Rain said, what's the meaning of this? We beat him up and he's bleeding profusely. Now, he still wants to form an alliance? He's not stupid. Night Sorrow has never mistreated his allies or those who follow him. Now, he wants to follow behind and reap some benefits, Jun Xuanji said. Xuanji, now that you have said so, I understand. This old man is indeed not stupid. Heavenly Monarch Yufei nodded. I don't ask for anything else. I just hope that he won't drag me down, Night Sorrow said. No. If they had other plans, they wouldn't have said what they said just now. They're really convinced. Jun Xuanji smiled. Li Tianhu, who had returned to the Black Fiend Valley, was also suspicious. Big brother, what do you mean just now? If they need us, we'll help them? That's right. If they need allies, we'll help them. The Qing Emperor's empire is already established. There are only benefits to being their ally. Let's not talk about other things. Just the Dark Abyss and the Red Emperor's empire. Have they profited or suffered losses in the past few wars? Li Tianba asked Li Tianhu. Of course. Li Tianhu nodded. In every war, the Qing Emperor's empire faced them head-on. They either defended or supported them. They didn't suffer many losses. The Qing Emperor's empire didn't want the sky-seizing island in the northern district of the reincarnation world and gave it to them. This means that in the era of Night Sorrow, the Qing Emperor's empire wouldn't cheat their allies. We're not afraid that he'll ask us for help. We're just afraid that he won't, Li Tianba said. Big brother, I understand now. The appearance of this young man has changed the situation. Look at the war between them and the Burning Sky Tower. If the Burning Sky Tower loses, only the Celestial Sect will be left. Li Tianhu nodded. In addition, I've also received news that 2 direct descendants of the Xianhuang City Lord's mansion in the Xianhuang Great World have come to the reincarnation world for Night Sorrow. The little princess of the Sea King's mansion in the Xianhuang Great World is also here. This means that Night Sorrow also has allies in the Xianhuang Great World. Li Tianba's information was very accurate. This was also the reason why he didn't hesitate to admit defeat. After studying the topographic map of the Burning Sky Tower for a while, Night Sorrow felt that it was better to drag the Dark Abyss and the Red Emperor's empire into this matter. This kind of war was inevitable. After making the decision, Night Sorrow went to the Red Emperor's empire and asked to see the Red Emperor. For Night Sorrow, the Red Emperor didn't treat him as a junior. He personally received him. Senior Red Emperor, I plan to attack the Burning Sky Tower. I wonder if the Red Emperor's empire is interested? Night Sorrow asked. Interesting. Of course, I'm interested. Tell me, how do you plan to do it? Hearing that Night Sorrow was going to start a war, the Red Emperor became spirited. It was because war was the best way to make money. The last joint battle had expanded the territory of the Red Emperor's empire by a lot. Clean up the burning sky tower. The Red Emperor's empire will come to this area. The Dark Abyss will come to this area. I'll bring people to the middle area and kill them. Night Sorrow looked at the map and said, divide. If we kill our way over, the burning sky tower will be divided. The only variable is whether the celestial sect will interfere. The Shinwu Great World's martial sacred palace can be ignored. The Red Emperor said. In the recent war, the celestial sect destroyed 2 Heaven Master level puppets. We already know that there are 2 more Heaven Master level puppets. The remaining one is the trump card that we are afraid of. Will they use their trump card to help the burning sky tower? Obviously not, so we'll definitely eat up the burning sky tower. Night Sorrow spoke his thoughts. What you said makes sense. Ling Tian is such a selfish person. Naturally, he won't use the celestial sect's trump card to help the burning sky tower. However, we still have to make some preparations. The Red Emperor said. He was still worried. He was worried that Ling Tian would go crazy and do anything. If the other party uses that trump card and we can't hold on, then we have to strategically retreat. The teleportation array of the 9 Firmament World Group has been closed. In other words, it's impossible to break in at the moment. The 9 Firmament World Group has a teleportation array that can enter the 9 Firmament World Group. The Red Emperor's empire can set up a teleportation array to the 9 Firmament World Group. At the most critical moment, we'll enter the 9 Firmament World Group and hide from the other party. Then, we'll kill our way back. Night Sorrow looked at the Red Emperor and said. That's not necessary. The Red Emperor's empire has a subsidiary world. We can arrange a place to retreat. What about the Burning Sky Tower Master? The Red Emperor said. The Red Emperor's empire had a place to retreat. After listening to Night Sorrow's opinion, he could arrange it. The Burning Sky Tower Master won't negotiate. Kill him. Night Sorrow said. Chapter 1341. Release the seal. Kill. Red Emperor froze for a moment. Yes, kill. If we fight whoever wants to fight, and negotiate with whoever wants to negotiate, where will we put our face? So we will negotiate with a portion, and kill the other portion, Night Sorrow said. Then we will do as you wish. How do you want to kill? Send me a message. Red Emperor nodded. All right then. I'll inform Lord Crimson Emperor when the battle starts and when we start killing. Yi Shan stood up, cupped his hands, and prepared to leave. Akatsuki, who had not spoken, sent Night Sorrow to the teleportation array, and returned to the Red Emperor Palace. Tian Xian, Chiwa, do you feel the difference? Red Emperor looked at Akatsuki and Chiwa and asked. It seems that many people will give him face now, including you, father, Akatsuki said. He has the qualifications to make people give him face. His face is earned by himself. Father, Datura, and Black Fiend Valley will also give him face in the future. But you can't learn from him. Red Emperor sighed. King dares to say that he wants to kill the Sky Pillar. He is probably the only one who dares to say that. Akatsuki nodded. And he is not joking. This Fantian Tower Master might be unlucky. Chiwa also sighed because the changes in the past few years were too great. Okay, the two of you prepare your men. If you want to fight, then fight. Red Emperor waved his hand at Akatsuki and Chiwa. He envied the Qing Emperor. A disciple could support the Qing Emperor's dynasty, but he also knew that there were some things that could not be envied. Night Sorrow and Summer City arrived at Dark City. They met with Datura and told him about their plans. Sure, then let's kill him. That way, people will know that you're gentle and have a thunderous personality. No one will easily provoke you. Datura supported Night Sorrow. Then follow me to the 9 grand floors to rest for 2 days. We'll ask the Red Emperor to help us eliminate Burning Heaven Tower Master, Night Sorrow said. Datura naturally had no objections. After that, Night Sorrow brought Datura to Jochong building. Night Sorrow, when do you plan to kill Burning Heaven Tower Master? Misty Rain asked. There's no need to rush. Aluo, cultivate for 2 days first, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Night Sorrow, is there a reason why you can reconcile with Black Fiend Valley and want to kill Burning Heaven Tower Master? Datura asked. Because Burning Heaven Tower Master is not a righteous person. He can be said to be deranged. So, he must die, Night Sorrow said. At this moment, Jun Xuanji took out a piece of information and handed it to Datura. After reading it, Datura's face changed. Damn it. It wouldn't be too much even if someone like him died 1,000 times. You can't be ruthless, but when it comes to him, I must eliminate him completely, said Yishang. Let me take a look. Misty Rain took the information and glanced at it. Immediately, his face was filled with killing intent. Burning Heaven Tower Master's real name could no longer be verified. He cultivated an absolute art called the Demon Heart Fist. When the Demon Heart Fist was used, there would be a scene of ghosts crying and gods howling. It would affect one's mind. In order to cultivate this absolute art, one had to kill thousands of children under the age of 6, capture their souls, and use the resentment of these children to cultivate. Only then would there be a will of ghosts crying and gods howling to affect the opponent. This absolute art was also called the Thousand Infant Fist. I know about the Demon Heart Fist. I didn't expect his cultivation process to be so cruel. Night Sorrow, Xuanji, is this information accurate? Misty Rain asked. Yes. Originally, it was Night Sorrow who asked me to investigate Burning Heaven Tower's situation. After the spies I sent out verified this information, I didn't believe it and sent people to investigate. I even asked Uncle Xia to help me send out a secret guard to verify this information. When he killed a monarch 100 years ago, he used the Demon Heart Fist, Jun Xuanji nodded. The information had been verified by her repeatedly. It couldn't be wrong. The Demon Heart Fist is the Thousand Infant Fist. This can't be wrong. He must die. Datura's face was filled with killing intent. This was too inhumane. After preparing for a period of time, Night Sorrow informed the Red Emperor to come to 9 grand floors because they were about to start the operation. The Red Emperor brought Akatsuki and Chiwa over. Datura also summoned the 2 commanders of the Bloodthirsty Army and the Bloodthirsty Army to 9 grand floors. Night Sorrow also informed Nu Lin, Qing Lin, and Qing Wan to 9 grand floors. This time, we are going to kill the leader of Burning Heaven Tower. First, we will kill the Burning Heaven Tower's lord and the Burning Heaven Tower's leader. Then, the army will directly charge in and kill the important people in each city. After that, we will complete our rule, Night Sorrow said. Read H novels for free for 4 days. Looking at the areas of attack, you have divided the territories. Datura said. That's right. The areas that each side is attacking and occupying are relatively close to our bases, Night Sorrow nodded. Not bad. You have arranged it well, the Red Emperor nodded. I have a request for everyone here. Although people will die in war, it is best to kill as little as possible. Just kill the important people, Night Sorrow said. Heaven Heart, Chiwa, follow Night Sorrow's instructions, the Red Emperor instructed Akatsuki and Chiwa, who were standing behind him. Did the 2 of you hear that? Datura looked at his subordinates, Bloodthirsty Army and Bloodthirsty Army. Lord Ruler, please rest assured. We will carry out your orders well, Bloodthirsty Army and Bloodthirsty Army bowed. Good. Then, commanders, return to your bases and prepare for battle. We will inform you of our plans. My request is a blitzkrieg operation. We need to win this war quickly. We do not want any unexpected changes, Night Sorrow said. Following which, the commanders left and returned to their respective legions to prepare for battle. Crimson Emperor, Lord Ruler, Master's wife, I'll have to trouble the three of you to kill Skyburn Tower Master. You can't let him escape. If he does, he'll be a disaster, said Yishan. After emphasizing this once more, the group set off. Knight Sorrow rode the Ice Chelan into battle. After killing the leader, it would be a group battle. The Ice Chelan's group battle ability and ice sealing domain were very strong. After taking 2 teleportation arrays, the group arrived at the Burning Heaven Tower's base, Burning Heaven City. They then flew towards the Burning Heaven Mountain. Some of the Burning Heaven Tower members who tried to stop them were killed immediately. With 3 Heaven Masters going out to battle, who could stop them? Anyone who tried to stop them would die. He wants to run. Datura muttered. He instantly accelerated and chased in a different direction. Experts all had the ability to sense opportunities. When Datura and the others appeared at the Burning Heaven Mountain, the Burning Heaven Tower Master discovered them and immediately fled. However, Datura, who also had the ability to sense opportunities, discovered his movements. Datura was in front, Red Emperor was behind, and Misty Rain's energy wrapped around Night Sorrow began to give chase. Datura's speed was extremely fast. In the blink of an eye, he disappeared from Night Sorrow's sight. Misty Rain, who was carrying Night Sorrow, was slightly slower. After half a cup of tea's worth of time, the battlefield appeared in front of Night Sorrow. Datura was fighting against an old man. The old man was wearing a pair of green gloves. His fists were filled with the sounds of ghosts crying and gods howling. Damn it. It really is that kind of insidious ultimate technique, Misty Rain said through gritted teeth. Speak. Chapter 1342. But even if Burning Heaven Tower Master had a sinister secret art, it was useless. Datura's strength had completely suppressed him. Datura herself was a powerhouse among the Sky Pillar giants. After using the Soul Cultivation Liquid and Soft Jade Tendon Pill, her strength had once again increased to another level. Burning Heaven Tower Master was at the same level as her, but his combat strength was not on the same level. So what if you cultivate a sinister secret art? I can't stop you from falling today. Die for me. Datura roared and used the Great Death Destruction / Ghost God Terror. At this time, Burning Heaven Tower Master roared, and countless faces appeared on his body. They were all small faces that were formed by resentment. After Datura's blade broke through Burning Heaven Tower Master's defense, the blade light cut through Burning Heaven Tower Master's protective shield and cut into his chest. With a roar, Burning Heaven Tower Master immediately retreated and ran away. However, what greeted him was Red Emperor's sword chi. Red Emperor didn't join forces to kill the enemy, and this sword chi wasn't to kill Burning Heaven Tower Master. It was to stop him and not let him run away. Otherwise, it would be very troublesome for Datura to chase after him, although Datura's speed was faster than Burning Heaven Tower Master's. Red Emperor, you bastard. Burning Heaven Tower Master was so angry that he cursed. He wasn't Datura's opponent and was already injured. Red Emperor's sword was equivalent to cutting off his path of survival. Continue to curse. Red Emperor took a few steps back and replied. At this time, Datura used the Great Death Destruction / again. Burning Heaven Tower Master used Ghost God Terror to block Datura's hollow blade, but his chest was penetrated by the blade light. Block it again if you have the ability. Datura roared, and the Great Death Annihilation / shot out again. This time, Burning Heaven Tower Master was not able to block it. His forehead was opened up by Datura's hollow blade, and the Divine Sea was shattered. After receiving Burning Heaven Tower Master's storage ring, Datura frowned. The one who killed him was his true body, but he still has an avatar. There's nothing we can do about it. A crafty rabbit has 3 burrows. He has a backup plan. Night Sorrow sighed. There was nothing they could do about it. So, do we fight or not? Take over the territory? Red Emperor asked. On section Q of the latest chapter, take him down. Why not? Can he take back the territory by himself? If he dares to come out, we'll kill him. Night Sorrow said as he crushed Nu Lin's messaging crystal. Then take him down. Red Emperor also crushed a communication crystal, which belonged to Akatsuki. Datura did the same. Senior Red Emperor, do you have a fortune teller? Divine where Burning Heaven Tower Master's avatar is, and then kill him, Night Sorrow said. Your Qing Emperor's Xian Daozi's divination skills are very good. Why are you looking for me? Red Emperor asked. A few days ago, Uncle Xian Daozi helped me divine another matter, so I can't do it for a while, Night Sorrow said. All right then. This matter isn't just about you. When we return, I will find someone to divine it. However, it's strange. Why do you want to kill Burning Heaven Tower Master so much? The Crimson Emperor was a little confused. His impression of Night Sorrow was that he wasn't a person with a heavy killing intent. That bastard cultivated the Thousand Infant Fist. You know what the Thousand Infant Fist is. Do you think he should be killed? Datura waved his hollow blade, and death energy burst out. Dozens of blade auras cut Burning Heaven Tower Master's corpse and were destroyed. That was the Thousand Infant Fist? No wonder it was so evil. This is a taboo. He actually cultivated this. Damn it, he should be killed. How about this? I'll inform you when I get the results. We'll work together to kill him again. I haven't been angry for many years, but this time, I can't hold it in anymore, Red Emperor said. After that, they went to Burning Heaven Mountain and Burning Heaven City. They killed all the sovereigns who resisted and looted their resources before returning to 9-story tower. Xuanji, split the resources here into 3 portions and give them to Red Emperor, Ruler, and Mistress. Night Sorrow took out the resources he had seized from Burning Heaven Mountain and Burning Heaven City and threw them into the hall of 9-story tower. It was like a small mountain. You've worked hard to come up with this plan. You should get some benefits. My portion is yours. I'll go back and inform you when I have news. Red Emperor laughed and left. When he said he had news, he was referring to the results of his divination. Mistress doesn't need it, so I'll give it to you. It's not easy for you to raise such a big family. Moreover, you've spent so much effort to expand the territory of the Qing Emperor's empire. Mistress should reward you. Misty Rain smiled. She was very happy. She was happy that Night Sorrow's inner world was perfect. He hated evil as if it was his enemy, but he was also very generous and domineering. Do you think I'll take it? What's yours is mine. Take this storage ring and refine it. It might be difficult, but it shouldn't be a problem. The evil cultivation technique will be destroyed. Datura's words were even more direct and domineering. At the same time, he gave Burning Heaven Tower Master's storage ring to Night Sorrow. I don't mind having more materials. I plan to set up a defensive array for the 9-domain world. I need 1,000,000 Saint Spirit stones. This should be enough. Thank you, Mistress. Thank you, Ah Luo. Night Sorrow waved his arm and accepted the materials. You're such a money grubber. Why were you so generous just now? Datura said with a smile. That's 2 different things. No matter how much I need it or how much I desire it, I have to do it right. Since you're giving it to me personally, I'll naturally accept it, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Misty Rain, this fellow is eating meat, but his mouth is full of logic. Datura said with a smile after taking a sip of tea. He's accumulating wealth. Without wealth, there won't be any betrothal gifts, Misty Rain said as she looked at Datura. You win. Datura could not say anything else. Night Sorrow, be careful. Burning Heaven Tower Master is not completely dead. He has a clone and will take revenge. His target might be you. Misty Rain was still somewhat worried. I won't be going out for a while. If I go out, I'll use a teleportation array. Would he dare to kill his way to Qing Emperor City and 9-layer pavilion? He doesn't dare to do it now. When my master and senior brother come out of seclusion, they won't dare to do it. My master and senior brother won't be able to kill him, Knight Sorrow said with a smile. Commander, you've learned how to ride on someone's coattails. What's more, your coattails are very sturdy, Jun Xuanji said with a smile. What can I do? I want to kill him, but can I? Knight Sorrow said helplessly. You can do it in the future. If there's news from the Red Emperor, we'll kill him again to eliminate all future troubles, Misty Rain said. Captain Fei Xiu, inform the Empire's officials to come to 9-layer pavilion. We have to take over the territory that the army has conquered. We can't let it fall into chaos. Xuanji, inform the intelligence department to find out about the movements of the other forces. Focus on the Celestial Sect and Samsara City, Knight Sorrow said. Jun Xuanji and Fei Xiu, who was standing at the entrance of the hall, went to do their work. Knight Sorrow, why are you still paying attention to Samsara City? Datura asked. After what happened last time, the heavenly monarch of Thunder Fire must know what's going on. If there's a chance for him to develop his forces, he will. I even suspect that the hidden forces belong to him, Yi Shang said. That's really possible. Investigate. I'll go back and investigate, Datura said. Second update. Chapter 1343. Okay, go and check it out. Also, tell your army to kill anyone who tries to snatch the meat. We will kill pigs and let others eat the meat. This is definitely not allowed, Knight Sorrow said. Don't worry, no one can do such a thing in my hands. If I find out, I will not forgive you. Datura stood up and left the 9-Chong building. Mistress, I will go and refine the ring. This guy is not dead. I will need some time to open the ring, Knight Sorrow said to Misty Rain. Go ahead. Don't worry. If the problem is serious, ask your senior to come out. Misty Rain nodded. Knight Sorrow entered the secret cultivation room and took out the storage ring of Burning Sky Tower Master. He then used his soul power to invade it and started to refine it. Evil Chi. The soul imprint in the storage ring was very evil and very solid. New chapter, Knight Sorrow controlled the crescent moon blade of the soul extinguishing slash into the storage ring and started to kill the evil soul imprint. At the same time, he released his soul power to erase Burning Sky Tower Master's soul imprint. Normally, a sovereign would not be able to do anything to the soul imprint of a heaven master. Because they were not on the same level, even a sovereign or a king would not be able to open the storage ring of a heaven master. Datura gave Burning Sky Tower Master's storage ring to Knight Sorrow because he knew that Knight Sorrow had the sovereign attribute. His soul power could suppress Burning Sky Tower Master's soul imprint. Although there was suppression, it was not easy to erase the soul imprint of a heaven master. After half a month, Knight Sorrow finally managed to open the storage ring. It had to be said that the leader of a top force, a heaven master, was very rich. There were more than 300,000 Saint Spirit stones. There were also a lot of materials for refining weapons and alchemy. They were all of the best quality. There were also 2 sets of books. One was the extremely evil demon Heart Fist. Knight Sorrow destroyed it. The other was a sword skill, the 9 consecutive slashes mystical skill. Knight Sorrow felt that this was quite good. He would take it back and throw it into the city in the sky so that his wife and parents could cultivate it. It would also increase their strength by quite a bit. As for the Holy Spirit stones, Knight Sorrow planned to use them to set up a great formation. At that time, the Dragon Tiger formation that the 3 great worlds did not have would shock the world. It would make Clear Sky City and the city in the sky impregnable. The 9 regions world was developing towards a big world. In the future, there would be many outsiders. Knight Sorrow could not stop or restrict the entry of others. Under such circumstances, the safety of Haotian City and the city in the sky was the most important. After leaving the cultivation room, Night Sorrow listened to Jun Xuanji's report on the current situation. The burning heaven tower had already been taken down and divided between the three forces. The celestial sect didn't make any moves. Things were already set in stone. It was useless for the celestial sect to intervene. If they did, it would be a war. Compared to the Qing Emperor's empire, the Dark Abyss, and the Red Emperor's empire, the celestial sect was incomparable except for their trump cards. Even the Qing Emperor's empire was not afraid of the two giant-level puppets. Ling Tian didn't move. He knew that it was useless. He didn't want to fight to the death. The trump card of the celestial sect was the level 9 skeleton. It had the power to kill all the giant-level puppets. However, it was a skeleton after all. It didn't have intelligence. The cost of activating it was too great for the celestial sect to bear. Besides, it could only be activated once. Therefore, Ling Tian wouldn't use it unless the sect was about to be destroyed. At this moment, in the attic of the mansion of the Samsara city, the Heavenly Lord of Thunder Fire was sitting on the main seat. The pale-faced burning heaven tower master was sitting on his right. Lord of Thunder Fire City, as long as you help me take revenge, I, the burning heaven tower master, will follow your lead. The burning heaven tower master cupped his hands towards the Heavenly Lord of Thunder Fire. The Heavenly Lord of Thunder Fire didn't say anything. He was weighing the pros and cons in his mind. There are some things that I know. Otherwise, I wouldn't have come to you. The Thunder Cliff that has never interacted with any forces is under the control of the City Lord. The burning heaven tower master said. It's not that I can't help you take revenge. It's just that it's not the right time yet. Follow me. If there's a suitable opportunity, I'll seek justice for you. The Heavenly Lord of Thunder Fire said. Okay. Then, City Lord, please arrange a place for me to recuperate. The burning heaven tower master stood up and said. Just do it in the mansion of the City Lord. Would they dare to kill their way into the mansion? I have the City Lord's seal. I can mobilize part of the power of the Samsara Palace. If they dare to kill us, it'll give me a reason to fight back. The Heavenly Lord of Thunder Fire said. The Samsara city was the core of the Samsara world. It was also where the Samsara Palace was located. The City Lord of Samsara City was in charge of some of the affairs of the Samsara city. He was in charge of the City Lord's seal, which was a symbol of identity and status. Similarly, some of the original power of the Samsara Palace could be used in battles in the city. After arranging for the Burning Heaven Tower Master to rest, the Heavenly Lord of Thunder Fire fell into deep thought. Now that the forces in the Samsara world were reshuffling, he had to make some plans. Firstly, Mandela might know about the matter between him and the Dark Lord of Heaven. If Datura knew, then Misty Rain would know as well. If the two of them knew, it meant that the eastern district of the Samsara world would know. Therefore, he was worried that if all the giants in the eastern district of the Samsara world joined forces, he would lose his position as the City Lord. He had to be powerful. Strength represented the right to speak. This was an eternal truth. Now, the eastern district of the Samsara world was united. It could no longer be called the Eastern District of the Samsara world because the Heaven-Seizing Island in the Northern District and the Burning Heaven Tower in the Northwest had been divided by the three superpowers in the Eastern District. There were only 2 or 3 superpowers in the Samsara world that had not been affected. He felt that he had to unite with them. There was also hope because no one wanted to see a situation where the balance was lost. The Heavenly Lord of Thunder Fire knew that the Celestial Sect would definitely join forces with him. So would the Black Fiend Valley. Of course, it was the Heavenly Lord of Thunder Fire's idea to think that the Black Fiend Valley would be an ally. He naturally did not know about Li Tianba's thoughts. In fact, Li Tianba would provoke anyone but Night Sorrow. This was what he repeatedly told himself. After a month of peace, Datura and the Red Emperor both arrived at the Nine Chong building. Why are you here? The Red Emperor looked at Datura and asked. I have something to do. Aren't you here too? Datura said. I really have something to do. Night Sorrow, you asked me to find someone to divine the matter. The result is really unimaginable. The Burning Heaven Tower Master's avatar is in the Samsara City Lord's mansion. The Heavenly Lord of Thunder Fire intervened. We can't barge into the Samsara City Lord's mansion and we can't kill our way in, the Red Emperor said. He is a hypocrite. I have also found out that the Thunder Cliff that has been supporting the Heavenly Lord of Thunder Fire is his superpower. The leader of the Thunder Cliff is his disciple, Datura said. Shameless villain. What should we do? This guy is against us now. We can't touch him in the Samsara City. The Red Emperor was helpless. Why can't we touch him? Night Sorrow did not understand. Chapter 1344. Because the Castellan controls the Castellan seal of the Samsara City. Normally, the seal is a symbol of status. However, the Castellan seal of the Samsara City is not only a symbol of status, but also a magic treasure. It can mobilize the energy of the Samsara Palace. In other words, the Castellan seal has the power of the origin of the Samsara world, Misty Rain said. So this hypocrite can always be the Castellan? Night Sorrow was a little dizzy because this was not good news. The Castellan is re-elected every 10 million years. The Castellan must be approved by half of the giants in the Samsara world before the Samsara Palace can bestow the Castellan seal. Currently, the Castellan of the Samsara City is elected according to the rules. There was a period of time when the Castellan was fighting for the position, which led to the lack of a Castellan for a long time. Later, everyone felt that this was not the way to go, so they used the election method. However, they didn't expect Lei Hua, who became the Castellan, to be such a sinister person, Datura said. Then we have many giants here. The Qing Emperor's dynasty has 3, the Red Emperor's dynasty has 5, including you. I'll talk to the Black Fiend Valley. About 7 giants agree, Night Sorrow said after thinking for a while. Li Tianba of the Black Fiend Valley has asked for peace with the Qing Emperor's dynasty, but he might not be on our side. Not everyone knows about Lei Hua's behavior. The Red Emperor was not very sure about Night Sorrow's words because it was not easy to change the minds of the giants. It all depends on the effort. Is 7 enough? If not, I'll talk to other forces. Night Sorrow felt that there was no problem with Li Tianba's side. 7 is enough. Lei Hua, and Ming, Fen Tian Tower Master, and the General of Wind and Thunder of the Thunder Cliff make 4 people. If we count the 2 puppets of the Celestial Sect, that's only 6, Misty Rain said. Puppets count? Night Sorrow was stunned. Forget it. Those who have the strength of a Heaven Master can forget about it. There's nothing we can do about it. Now, let's see what the Sima Manor and Yuan Dao Tian have in mind. During the last selection, the Sima Manor supported Lei Hua. However, Yuan Dao Tian did not participate, Datura said. How much longer do we have? Night Sorrow asked. 1 million years, Misty Rain said. We can't wait that long. It's not good for a villain to run amok. I'll think of something. Night Sorrow thought for a while and felt that he should talk to the origin of Samsara Palace about this. It was not out of selfishness, but for the sake of the world of Samsara. No one in the main hall of the 9 Stories Pavilion made a sound. Everyone felt that there was no way to resolve this matter. Night Sorrow, I'll go back first. If you need anything, just let me know. Red Emperor nodded at Night Sorrow. Then, he cupped his hands at Misty Rain and Datura before leaving the 9 Stories Pavilion. After that, Datura told Night Sorrow that the current situation should be stabilized. There was no need to rush. Night Sorrow nodded. He decided to go to the Black Fiend Valley and see what the 2 brothers in the Black Fiend Valley had to say. If Li Tianba and Li Tianhu were willing, then the situation would be easier to control with 7 Heaven Masters on the same side. After sending Datura off, Night Sorrow took Summer City to the Black Fiend Valley through the teleportation array. When they arrived at the Black Fiend Palace, Night Sorrow handed over his greeting card. However, when Night Sorrow handed it over, Li Tianba appeared and brought Night Sorrow into the Black Fiend Palace. "What brings you here?" Li Tianba asked after instructing someone to make tea. "I'm very sorry about what happened last time. So, Night Sorrow brought some good tea for you as an apology." Night Sorrow took out a packet of heart-cleansing tea and placed it on the table beside him. "You're too polite. That's how war is. There's nothing to apologize for. I congratulate you for taking down the Burning Sky Tower." Li Tianba cupped his hands and said. Translator, thank you, Lord Valley Master. I didn't ask you to join the battle because I felt that the Black Fiend Valley had just experienced a war. Next time, I'll definitely ask you to join me. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Really? Li Tianba asked. Absolutely. Night Sorrow nodded. All right then. Prepare the banquet, Li Tianba shouted to his subordinates. Yi Shang's attitude was tantamount to admitting that they were allies. Night Sorrow smiled and didn't refuse. It was easier to talk about things while drinking. The banquet was attended by 4 people. Night Sorrow, Summer City, Li Tianba, and Li Tianhu. Night Sorrow, you've really screwed us over this time. Li Tianhu drank a mouthful of wine and said. We had no choice at that time. Let's screw others over in the future. Night Sorrow stood up and raised his glass to Li Tianba and Li Tianhu. That's right. Li Tianba nodded. Actually, I'm here today because I have something to discuss with you 2 seniors. I'll leave it to you to decide. Night Sorrow felt that it was time to get down to business. Li Tianba nodded and put down his glass. Night Sorrow exhaled and told them about the current situation and the Samsara City Lord situation. He also expressed that he wanted the Thunder Fire Lord to come down. The Qing Emperor's dynasty and our alliance have 5 Heaven Masters. Including the Black Fiend Valley, that makes 7. We have a huge advantage. Li Tianba thought for a while and said. Yes. If the future Samsara City Lord is on our side, then the Black Fiend Valley, the Qing Emperor's dynasty, the Red Emperor's empire, and the Dark Abyss will be treated the same. Night Sorrow made a promise. He couldn't let others do things without giving them benefits. I'll do it. I'll listen to you. When do I need you to send me a message? Li Tianba made the decision without hesitation. Li Tianba had already decided to ally with the Qing Emperor's dynasty. Now that he heard Night Sorrow's promise, he naturally wouldn't hesitate. Okay. I'll think of a way to stabilize things. We can't let villains rule the world. Night Sorrow said. Okay. Let's drink. Li Tianba called for more wine. After drinking, Night Sorrow returned to the Nine Chong Pagoda. Why do you reek of alcohol? Summer City, why don't you keep an eye on him? Misty Rain stared at Summer City after seeing Night Sorrow reeking of alcohol. Sister-in-law, His Highness went out for business. He drank with Li Tianba and Li Tianhu. The 2 of them agreed to stand on His Highness's side. They're willing to help His Highness pull down the Thunder Fire Lord. Summer City said. It's a good thing that these 2 brothers are enlightened. It's mainly because of trust. Night Sorrow, if you have any problems in the future, you can talk to Mistress. Don't take it all on yourself. Misty Rain said. Mistress, don't worry. I don't think Li Tianba and Li Tianba will play any tricks. Also, I don't know what these 2 factions are thinking. Night Sorrow said. Although Sima Manor and Li Tianba's territories aren't big, they are very strong. This is especially true for Li Tianba. Li Tianba's people roam the world. No one knows who's from Li Tianba. They don't like conflicts in the secular world. Their attitude is more aloof, Misty Rain said. I can't connect with them. Night Sorrow sighed. Chapter 1345. It's impossible for everything to go smoothly. Take it slow. Now that we have 7 Sky Masters on our side, it's already a good situation, Misty Rain said. She felt a little apologetic. The Qing Emperor was in seclusion, and she couldn't help Night Sorrow. Everything in the Qing Emperor's dynasty had to be shouldered by Night Sorrow. Mistress, you think too much. Some things are easy to do. If we work hard, it'll be fine. I'll communicate with the origin of Samsara Palace and see what he has to say, Night Sorrow said after thinking for a while. Is it appropriate? Heavenly Monarch Yufei looked at Yi Shang in astonishment. The origin source of a large great world was extremely arrogant. Not everyone could say whatever they wanted, so it was very difficult to communicate with it. Let's try. Night Sorrow's doppelganger nodded. At this moment, Night Sorrow's original body, who was cultivating in the space-time pagoda in Samsara Palace, stopped cultivating. He stood up, walked out of the space-time pagoda, and made a pot of tea. Before Night Sorrow could shout, the origin of Samsara Palace appeared. St. Night Sorrow took out 2 chairs and asked. Then let's try. If you have something to say it. The origin of Samsara Palace sat on the chair Night Sorrow took out. I'm selfish. What I want to ask you is, can we move up the date of the next Samsara City Lord election? Yi Shang asked. Not bad. It's good that you've reached this level. But so what if it's brought forward? The rule is that when more than half of the Sky Masters admit it, I will grant the governor's seal. Can you control more than half of the Sky Masters? The origin of Samsara Palace said. At least I have to try. The Samsara world is a big world. At the very least, it can't be ruled by a small person. I don't want to be the governor. A suitable person can do it, Night Sorrow said. What's the support of everything in the world? Order, rules, heavenly way order, elemental rules, and human relations rules. Not to mention control, even if you can affect the order and rules, you're already a powerhouse, the origin of Samsara Palace said. I know. I shouldn't have asked. Night Sorrow nodded. Listen to what I have to say. Some cultivators can influence fate. This is an ability, and you have this ability. In the future, I will ask for your help. Not to mention, in terms of the rules and order of the heavenly Tao, you are a body of merit. I will consider your suggestion. The origin of the world of reincarnation nodded to Night Sorrow. My appearance in the world of reincarnation caused a lot of commotion. However, this wasn't my intention and I don't know why. Actually, I just want to do my own thing well and give the people around me peace and quiet, so that I can walk the path of the strong. But now, fighting and killing has always been by my side. Night Sorrow sighed as he said this. How's the region after your expedition? Is there any order? Are there any rules? The origin of the world of Samsara sniffed the tea and asked. Yes, it's already quiet and peaceful. Night Sorrow nodded. After order and rules appear, they need to be obeyed and broken. Only when the old order and rules are broken can new order and rules be replaced. The old order and rules are broken because it's no longer suitable. It's that simple. It's the same in the world of Samsara. If it's not suitable, it will be broken. The origin of the world of Samsara looked at Night Sorrow and said some philosophical words. I will continue to work hard. Night Sorrow nodded. I know very well about the world of Samsara. Those powerful figures think that the Lord of Thunder Fire is a gentleman and is suitable to be the Lord of Samsara City. They are blind. I won't stop you, so you can do as you see fit. If you need to tell me in advance, I've said that in the world of Samsara, I'm the sky, the earth, and also the rules. The origin of the world of Samsara left behind a domineering sentence and disappeared. Night Sorrow's original body entered the pagoda of time and space to continue cultivating. Now he was at a bottleneck. His will of nothingness had reached the peak of 7-star king. One more step and he would be a star king. His will of time and space was at the middle stage of 7-star king. Haha. Mistress, it's done. As long as we're ready, the election of the Lord of Samsara city can be carried out in advance. Knight Soro's doppelganger in the Nine Chong Pagoda said with a smile. The origin of samsara is really giving you face. Try not to speak in the future. The origin of the world of samsara has its own rules. In the past, someone failed to comprehend in the samsara palace. After he came out, he said that the heavenly Tao was unfair and he was killed by lightning. This is the temper of the origin of samsara. Misty Rain said. She was worried that Night Sorrow would offend the origin of samsara. Night Sorrow nodded. In this world, there was only one's hard work or lack of opportunity. There was no such thing as the heavenly Tao being unfair. It was normal to be killed for questioning the rules of the world of samsara. If it could be carried out in advance, Night Sorrow would have to make arrangements. The unstable factors were the Sima residence and the origin Tao heaven. The origin Tao heaven didn't like worldly affairs. If it didn't help Night Sorrow, it naturally wouldn't help the Lord of Thunder Fire. The main problem was the Sima residence. The Sima residence supported the Lord of Thunder Fire last time. If it wasn't affected, the Sima residence would naturally support the Lord of Thunder Fire. However, Night Sorrow did not have any interactions with the Sima manor. If he directly went up to them and said something, they would not care who he was. Sky Pillar Big Shot had nothing to say to the king. Night Sorrow felt that he had to wait. The support of Samsara Palace was not easy to come by. If he made a mistake, he would become a laughingstock. For Night Sorrow, he could only succeed in getting the Thunderfire Skylord down. Failure was not an option. Night Sorrow, what are you thinking about? Misty Rain asked when she saw Night Sorrow twirling the teacup. First edition chapter First edition, think about what's appropriate. Didn't you say that you'll have to rely on the support of a Heaven Master powerhouse? If I can't deal with the Sima Manor and Yuan Dao Tian, then I'll have to resort to my worst strategy, Night Sorrow said. You still have a plan? I've always felt that you've been using the best strategy. Qing Wan entered the 9 stories building. What do you know? Don't change the topic. Night Sorrow, tell me. Misty Rain said. Only a few people knew that he was going to get the Lord of Samsara City Thunderfire. Even Qing Wan and Qing Lin did not know about it. Mistress, are we going to rely on the support of the Sky Pillar Big Shot to compete with the number of Sky Pillars? Then we'll reduce their number. Night Sorrow's eyes were filled with killing intent. Heavenly Monarch Yufei stood up because Yi Shang was bold enough. If it was possible, this was not a bad plan. Everyone is avoiding the Celestial sect. Let's give it up for the time being. The Dark Lord of Heaven is a killer. Those who kill will be killed. If we can't do it, we'll get rid of him first. Xuanji, can you investigate how the General of Wind and Thunder of the Thunder Cliff works? Yi Shang said to Jun Xuanji. He didn't want to attack people who were righteous and had a righteous outlook. This was his principle as a person. Okay, just wait for the news. Jun Xuanji nodded. Mistress, I want to hand over the dynasty's intelligence system to Xuanji later, Night Sorrow said to Misty Rain. Chapter 1346. You just thought of it. When you went to Samsara Palace, Mother had already arranged it. Ji is not only the military counselor, but also the head of intelligence. You know, even the princes and princesses are not qualified to get involved in the intelligence department. Blue Phoenix curled her lips and said. Managing the intelligence department requires ability. Do you have that ability? How dare you say this? Your father said it well. You can do whatever you want with ability. How many years have you been the commander? What achievements have you made? What about your junior brother? Look at the Azure the Arch Empire when your junior brother was the commander of the Azure the Arch Empire. Heavenly Monarch Yufei glared at her daughter. I'm just lamenting. I don't mean anything else. Now in the world of Samsara, if the Qing Emperor's dynasty dares to claim to be the second power, no one dares to claim to be the first, Blue Phoenix said. This is because senior brother broke through and master's wife returned, Night Sorrow said. Of course it has something to do with this. But it's undeniable that you opened up the situation. When father was inconvenient, the Qing Emperor's dynasty could do without anyone but you. When you were there, Celestial Sect didn't declare war. When you went to Samsara Palace, they started a war. This is the best proof. Blue Phoenix really admired Night Sorrow now. Senior sister, you're exaggerating, Night Sorrow said. Not at all. Hailing and I talked about it. You've killed monarch-level opponents in Heaven and Earth Pavilion. Senior sister is a monarch, but she didn't say she could kill a monarch. But you, the 7-star king, did it. This is something other cultivators can't do, Blue Phoenix said. Night Sorrow smiled. He didn't deny this. He was also satisfied with himself. Night Sorrow, you're right. Xuanji will investigate first. Night Sorrow, you should also take a rest. You're tired after all this work. Misty Rain felt that Night Sorrow's life was too fast, which was not good for development. I should spend more time with my family. I've been busy and neglected them. Night Sorrow felt guilty when it came to his family. After making his decision, Night Sorrow left the 9 grand floors and went to 7 Nights City. At this time, 7 Nights City was very prosperous. Night Sorrow arrived at Chen Chen's tea house. It's rare to see you. Night Sorrow, do you dare to stay with your sworn brother for 2 days? Chen Chen was very happy to see Night Sorrow. Sure, I'll accompany you for 2 days, Night Sorrow said with a smile. He could feel that Chen Chen was looking forward to his answer. Wife, the dishes are ready. Night Sorrow is going to stay with us for 2 days. Chen Chen called his wife. Sister-in-law, there's no need to trouble yourself. Just make yourself at home. Night Sorrow greeted her with a smile. Evening. Night Sorrow and Chen Chen were chatting on the 2nd floor of the tea house, watching people coming and going on the street outside. Update our new fastest on F. The last time we drank at night was in Juyuan village. So many years have passed and the world has changed. Chen Chen was still a little emotional. Sworn brother, I'm sorry for what happened back then. Night Sorrow poured a cup of wine for Chen Chen. 2 brothers in a lifetime. You have many brothers in your world, but you're the only one in my world. You didn't do anything wrong. You gave me repentance and gave me the chance to stand in this world again. So I should thank you. Chen Chen said. Drink well and don't mention the past. Aren't the days now very good? Chen Chen's wife brought over 2 dishes and said. Yes, Chia City's current status in the Tianxian world is very high. No force dares to provoke it. High-level cultivators have to behave themselves when they come to Chia City because this is Night Sorrow's Chia City. The name of the city lord is Night Sorrow, Chen Chen said. The development of the 9 regions world is the bitterness of our generation, but also the fortune of our generation. Sworn brother, I know you don't have any big dreams. You just want to be a good tea house owner. I support you. Now go to Haotian City, choose a good location and buy a piece of land. In the future, you'll be the first tea house owner in the 9 regions world. Night Sorrow said with a smile. He knew Chen Chen's dream. Yes, the great world? You mean the 9 regions world? Chen Chen grasped the key point in Night Sorrow's words. Yes, in the future, the 9 regions world will surpass any world of the 9 clouds world and become a world like the Great Reincarnation world and the Black-Yellow Great World. So now you have to seize the opportunity. If you miss it, you may not be able to afford the land in Haotian City in the future. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Haha. Then find the best place to buy a large piece of land. I'll open a tea house and help you open a restaurant. You don't know the difference between enjoying a tea house at home and a restaurant, Chen Chen said. Listen to you, sworn brother. Do whatever you want. Night Sorrow nodded. Night Sorrow is a man of great things. Why are you dragging him into a restaurant? Do you think he's like you? Whether he does business or not, he's the biggest boss in the 9 regions world. Chin Chen's wife glared at Chin Chen. Sister-in-law, you're joking. In fact, I'm very grateful to you because you gave Sworn Brother a peaceful attitude. If I hadn't met you, Sworn Brother wouldn't have been in such a situation. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Yes, for so many years, I've never dared to say a harsh word to my family's leader. Chin Chen also nodded. Night Sorrow smiled. He felt that this was very good. A man was prestigious outside, but at home, he had to keep a low profile. It was tiring for a man to work hard outside, but it was equally tiring to have a woman at home to take care of things. After accompanying Chin Chen for 2 days, Night Sorrow returned to the city in the sky to accompany his family and watch his children cultivate. On the 3rd day after Night Sorrow returned, there was good news. Wu Lingfei entered the king's realm and became the king of life. The 3rd king of the 9 regions world was born. The 2nd king was Zhu Jiuyun. This was a good thing worth celebrating. Night Sorrow held a celebratory banquet in the city in the sky. Night Sorrow lived a stable life in the city in the sky. On the 3rd year after Night Sorrow returned to the city in the sky, Yi Qianhua successfully entered the king's realm and became the 4th king of the 9 regions world. At this time, Night Sorrow's will of nothingness, which had been cultivating in the Samsara Palace for 60 years, broke through again and entered the Star King's realm. His will of time and space was also at the peak of the 7 Stars King's realm. He could enter the Star King's realm at any time. Night Sorrow also found another problem. The 7th talent bloodline energy point, which could not be activated for many years, was becoming more and more loose. Now it was releasing the power of will. When it was completely activated, the will of time and space would be greatly improved. Night Sorrow cultivated in the pagoda of time and space for 60 years, which cost him 100 years of cultivation in the Samsara Palace. Because he had 3 kinds of will, he needed 3 times the time. On Night Sorrow's day, when he was sailing on the lake, Sandalwood came. Sandalwood came out for a few days. She had completely refined the 3 drops of soul cultivation liquid and the soft jade muscle and bone pill. Her strength had greatly improved. In Sandalwood's words, whoever dared to provoke the Qing Emperor's dynasty would be killed. The 2nd update. Chapter 1347. Junior brother, I'm here. Sandalwood's body flashed and landed on Night Sorrow's boat. Senior brother, you're in a good mood? Night Sorrow asked with a smile. Ah. It's like this. Your sister-in-law is lacking in armor. I'm going to look for the materials. I'll come see you once I've found them. Help me get it done, Sandalwood said. Okay, I'll go back tomorrow. I'll ask my sister-in-law what she wants, Night Sorrow said. It's ready. Here's the blueprint. Your sister-in-law is pregnant, so I didn't let her come, Sandalwood said with a happy smile. That's why she should come. Isn't the city in the sky good? There are mountains, rivers, and birds. Isn't it better than your magnificent tower? Night Sorrow said. That's true. I'll arrange it later. There's no rush for the armor. You can make it whenever you want. I still have to look for the materials. I don't know if it's a son or a daughter. I have to prepare the armor for them, Sandalwood said. Okay, senior brother, you don't have to worry about this. I'll give it all to you. Night Sorrow said. He knew that Sandalwood was really poor. After being locked up in the Devil's Ceiling Tower for 5 million years, he didn't have many resources. Then I won't stand on ceremony with you. Also, Master has come out of seclusion, Sandalwood said. No one told me. Night Sorrow stood up. Our permanent, free look at little Tixay / Master said you were too tired in the past few years and asked you to rest well. He didn't let anyone tell you. I only told you when I saw that he was in good condition, Sandalwood said. How is Master? Night Sorrow asked anxiously. Very good. He's recovered 70% of his cultivation. There's no problem. Sandalwood nodded. Then I'm relieved. Master suffered because of me. Now that he's recovered, I feel much more at ease, Night Sorrow said. He had always felt guilty about this. Junior brother, don't think that way. Actually, we all know that some things are predestined and predestined. Now that revered master has overcome this tribulation, things will go smoothly for him in the future. Sandalwood said. Night Sorrow nodded. He knew this as well, but now that he knew that the Qing Emperor had come out of seclusion, he had to go back. Night Sorrow and Sandalwood returned to the Qing Emperor's dynasty and went to the Azure Sky Pavilion. I know you can't stay calm. Xing King, very good. I believe that no one can threaten your safety except for the Sky Master, Qing Emperor said. Yes, Master, please wait a little longer. Wait until Disciple's strength increases a little more, then Disciple will go to the White Tiger territory. Disciple will definitely obtain the White Tiger blood. Night Sorrow bowed and said. Child, do not go down a dead end. You took back the heavenly Tao and already solved Master's problem. Now, all that remains is the broken poison. It cannot do anything to Master. White Tiger blood, it does not matter whether or not you have it. Qing Emperor said. Night Sorrow felt very at ease. The Qing Emperor's condition was very good. This made him very gratified. These years, you have managed the Qing Emperor's dynasty well. Your senior brother is not talented in this area, and Master does not want to manage it. Master has managed it for so many years and is tired. I will leave the rest to you. Qing Emperor looked at Night Sorrow and said. Master, Disciple's ambition is not this. Night Sorrow shook his head. Night Sorrow's refusal made the Qinglin and Qinghuan present a bit stunned because Night Sorrow nodded. That was the emperor of the Qing Emperor's dynasty, but Night Sorrow unexpectedly refused. Deep down, you do not want to be restrained. You want to be strong. Master understands. Actually, Qing Emperor's dynasty, you do not have to worry too much. Managing a dynasty is about using the right people. If you use the right people, then everything will be right. Now, other than you, no one else is suitable. Qing Emperor said. With Master around, Disciple will do as Master says. Night Sorrow said. Master wants to be free and spend more time with Master's wife. You have missed out on too much over the years. In your heart, family is the most important. Master wants to learn this from you. Qinglin, Qinghuan, you should do the same. In fact, in life, there are many things worth pursuing other than power and status, Qing Emperor said. Father, don't worry. We understand a lot of our shortcomings. We have disappointed Father in the past. Qinglin and Qinghuan nodded. In Father's heart, it is good as long as you are safe and healthy. Of course, I also hope that you can achieve great things. Perhaps I did not make it clear to you before. In the future, cooperate with Night Sorrow more. You know his situation. In the Qing Emperor's dynasty, he can get whatever he wants. The key is that he does not want it because he can get what he wants. This is the difference between the two of you. Qing Emperor said. There were no outsiders here, so there was nothing he could not say, including the shortcomings of his children. Qinghuan and Qinglin bowed. What about you, Zhang Tan? Now that you've made some achievements, you should work harder on your mental state. That's all for today. Let's have a family feast according to Yi Shang's situation, Emperor Qing said with a smile. That's good. Father, in the past, we were afraid of you and did not dare to say anything. We were also afraid that you would be disappointed, so we went to extremes. We won't do it again, Qinghuan said. You should quickly find someone to marry. This is Father's headache, Qing Emperor said with a smile. After attending the feast in the Qing Emperor's palace, Night Sorrow returned to the Nine Chong Pavilion. Night Sorrow, this time you want information on all the spaces and worlds around the heaven profound world. There are more than 10 of them, some are far, some are near, and some are barren spaces with broken origins, Jun Xuanji said. Thank you for your hard work. I have a lot of things to do, so I have no choice but to leave them to you. If there is a suitable one, I will find one, Night Sorrow said after taking the information on the spaces around the heaven profound world. You are not a lobbyist, right? Then don't say anything. It is not suitable, Jun Xuanji said with a smile. She did not want Night Sorrow to mention Qinglin. I won't speak for anyone. The happiness of all of you by my side is very important. I can't force you, Yishan said. Jun Xuanji nodded. She understood what Night Sorrow meant. Then, Night Sorrow began to study the information on the worlds around the heaven profound world. Jun Xuanji told Night Sorrow some things. She found the information on the space worlds, but the situation was unclear. She did not send anyone in because she checked according to the information. It is very detailed. I will go there later. If you have something you can't deal with or if it is urgent, go to the Heaven Ceiling Great Hall to inform me, Night Sorrow said. Night Sorrow, in fact, I think our Haotian city should change its name. The reincarnation world has the reincarnation city, and the black-yellow great world has the black-yellow city. You know what the future of our 9 regions world will be like. So, we should make a good foundation now, Jun Xuanji said. Alright, I'll leave these things to you. Right now, Clear Sky City has expanded to the size of a region. You'll have to put in more effort to build the city. The layout can't be small, Yishan said. Although it was not possible for the time being, it must have a good foundation. This was Night Sorrow's request. Chapter 1348. Okay, I'll go back and discuss it with the commander's residence. Don't worry, we'll take care of these small matters. That's good. Uncle Summer, you don't have to follow me in the future. You can stay in the 9 grand floors or go to the city in the sky to cultivate. You can also drink with Uncle Xian Daozi and the others. You've been protecting me all these years, Night Sorrow said as he looked at Summer City. Okay, Your Highness now has the ability to protect yourself. If Your Highness can't deal with an opponent, then this subordinate is useless. However, Your Highness should be careful, Summer City said. He followed Night Sorrow and watched Night Sorrow cultivate. He watched Night Sorrow practice his ultimate skills. He knew that apart from the Sky Pillar, no one could threaten Night Sorrow's safety. Afterward, Night Sorrow took the teleportation array to the Dark City. In the courtyard, Night Sorrow saw Datura standing under a tree, deep in thought. You're here, Datura turned to look at Night Sorrow with a smile on her face. Looking back with a smile, she could charm 100 people. Night Sorrow felt that this sentence was the most suitable to describe the scene at this moment. At this moment, Datura was very beautiful, so beautiful that it made one's heart tremble. I'm here, Night Sorrow nodded. You're so free today. What's the matter? Datura asked after sitting down at the side. Nothing, I just missed you, so I came to see you, Night Sorrow said. You also know how to miss me. Actually, I was thinking about our past just now. That year, you said that you would come to marry me. That year, I said that you could come whenever you wanted, but you never came, Datura said with some hidden bitterness. I'm sorry. I've let you down. Truth be told, I've been thinking about this as well. I don't want to wrong you. This is also the reason why I've been cultivating, Night Sorrow said, feeling somewhat guilty. Night Sorrow felt guilty, not because of the promise, but because Datura had said that he would go to the dark abyss to ask for her hand in marriage when he wanted her. However, he hadn't done so. This was a bit disappointing for Datura. I can understand your thoughts. You don't want me to be wronged. You don't want others to say that I, Datura, married a weak cultivator. But I don't care. Besides, you aren't a weak cultivator. In the world of reincarnation, when you mention Night Sorrow, I would give you a thumbs up. Datura said. Okay. That night, I'll ask my parents to come and ask for your hand in marriage. I won't let you be wronged again. Night Sorrow stepped forward and hugged Datura, then said in a low voice. You're not willing. I'll wait. Datura said, leaning on his shoulder. I won't wait anymore. I'll go home now. Night Sorrow straightened up, grabbed Datura's shoulders, nodded, and then turned around and left. Head. Looking at Night Sorrow's back, Datura knew that the young man's vow that he would marry her was true. Datura wiped the corner of her eyes. It was tears. Tears that she hadn't shed for countless years. Looking at the tears on her fingertips, Datura knew that her life was complete. It was a life with feelings. She would be touched and have feelings. Taking the teleportation array back to the city in the sky, Night Sorrow entered the mansion. What's going on? Why are you in such a hurry? Yu Qing asked when she saw Night Sorrow walking quickly into the mansion. Mother, I just went to the dark abyss and saw A Luo. I made her wait for too long. I can't wait any longer, so I asked my parents to help me propose marriage. Night Sorrow said. Okay, then you don't have to worry about this matter. Your father and I will handle the marriage proposal. We also have to tell Chuyu and the others about the details. Yu Qing said. She liked Datura very much and hoped that this matter would end well. In addition, she also had to tell Sikong Chuyu and the others. Although everyone knew about the matter between Datura and Night Sorrow, and Sikong Chuyu, Yang Lei, and Aoi didn't mind, they still had to be polite. Let's talk to Father Gu too. Night Sorrow said. Yu Qing nodded. Everyone knew that Father Gu was very important in Night Sorrow's heart. After talking to his family, Night Sorrow planned to meet Yu Yangyu and then walk around the few worlds around the Heaven Mystic World to see if there were any clues about the Spacetime Pagoda. At the Tianding Gate, Night Sorrow saw many people. His senior brothers were all there. They were also here to see Yu Yangyu. Everyone was together. It was like many years ago. Sure, Tianlin was still pulling Night Sorrow to drink. Night Sorrow took out some resources for everyone. Everyone was given one soft jade tendon pill. Senior brothers, I'm a blacksmith and alchemist. If anyone needs a weapon or has any ideas, draw the blueprint and give it to my 6th senior sister. I'll get it ready for everyone later. Night Sorrow said. After leaving the Tianding Gate, Night Sorrow went to see Qian Yu and Qian Xiangwei. The siblings were very happy with Night Sorrow's arrival because they had many channels. They knew some things about Night Sorrow and knew that Night Sorrow was doing well now. Night Sorrow, I'm already king, but I still can't see your cultivation. Qian Yu was a little shocked. He had already worked very hard, but the gap between him and Night Sorrow was getting bigger. After becoming king, you have the confidence. You have enough time to do what you want to do. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Long Jean ran to the reincarnation great world to mingle with you. My 2nd sister and I wanted to go too, but we didn't see you. Qian Yu said. Alright, but we're friends. You're going there to grow. It has nothing to do with our friendship. Night Sorrow said. Qian Yu and Qian Xiangwei nodded. They naturally knew what Night Sorrow meant. Then, Night Sorrow sent Qian Yu and Qian Xiangwei to the 9-story building and handed them to Long Jean. Night Sorrow's words were very clear. Don't break the rules of the God-slaying squad just because they were your friends. If they were suitable, they would be brothers and sisters of the God-slaying squad. If they were unsuitable, they would be sent back. Then, Night Sorrow returned to the Heaven Mystic World and met with Big Dipper King and Bei Xing. Only then did he begin his exploration journey. The distance between the spatial worlds varied. Even King didn't dare to casually leave his world to explore the next one. The spatial turbulence far away from the spatial world was very scary. Killing a king would be easy. Night Sorrow dared to have such thoughts because he had some achievements in the cultivation of the space-time willpower. His ability to survive in the spatial turbulence was strong. As long as his soul power could detect it, he could give it a try. The Spacetime Treasure Pagoda was a heavenly Tao artifact. He had to repair it. Only after it was repaired would he know the true power of the heavenly Tao artifact. Now, he asked Little Kong, but Little Kong wasn't sure. The first spatial world that Night Sorrow planned to explore was called the Small Azure World. The Small Azure World was a world that was relatively close to the Heaven Mystic World. Every 100 years, it would cross paths with the Heaven Mystic World. It was a good place for cultivators of the Heaven Mystic World to explore. Night Sorrow didn't plan to explore, nor did he plan to look for resources. He just wanted to see if there were any areas recorded in the crystal ball. Fourth update. For some reason, he had been very sleepy for the past 2 days. He would fall asleep sitting on a chair. Chapter 1349. Although the mysterious Heaven World and the Azure World were very close, they were still tens of thousands of miles apart. This distance was a dangerous distance. Night Sorrow waved his arm and broke through the spatial barrier of the mysterious Heaven World. With the spatial intent protecting his body, he flew towards the Azure World quickly. The spatial turbulence was very strong, but after being suppressed by Night Sorrow's spatial intent, it was not very powerful and did not pose a threat to him. Night Sorrow's protective shield cut through the space like a blade and approached the Azure World. After 10 minutes, Night Sorrow had exhausted half of his power of Desolates and Bloodline power before arriving at the Azure World. With a wave of his right hand, Night Sorrow broke through the spatial barrier and entered the Azure World. The spirit chi in the Azure World was very dense and there were some low-grade materials growing. However, Night Sorrow was not interested in them. If they were not king-grade materials or extremely rare materials for refining pills or weapons, Night Sorrow did not need them. Not long after Night Sorrow stabilized himself, a supremacy-level demonic beast came and wanted to attack Night Sorrow. After cultivating to the Saint King realm, one would be able to return to one's natural state. After cultivating the leakless real body, Night Sorrow's aura and energy did not leak out at all. The supremacy-level demonic beast could not sense Night Sorrow's strength and could not charge in front of Night Sorrow. With a wave of his left hand, Night Sorrow threw the demonic beast a few hundred miles away. He did not kill it as he felt that it was not necessary. If there was no need to, he would not kill. This was Night Sorrow's nature. The supremacy-level demonic beast was a little stunned. The young man had just waved his hand lightly and it was sent a few hundred miles away. What kind of strength was this? Killing it was just a matter of thought. It was just a wave of his hand and a change of thought. Indeed, it was just a matter of thought for Night Sorrow to kill it. A soul destruction slash was enough to kill it easily. Yi Shan's soul power spread out, and he began to fly around the little Azure World to investigate. In order to avoid being disturbed, Night Sorrow released a little bit of his willpower. This way, when he flew past, the demonic beasts prostrated themselves on the ground and did not dare to attack. The suppression of willpower came from the soul. It took Night Sorrow a month to completely explore the Azure World microcosm. In a month's time, Night Sorrow had explored the Azure World thoroughly. He had even found mineral veins. The highest grade mineral veins were top-grade spirit stones, but Night Sorrow had no interest in them. There were also many saint-level monster beasts. In the eyes of some cultivators, saint-level monster beasts were resources while saint crystals were a medium for comprehending the world order and could be exchanged for resources. However, Night Sorrow was not interested in this matter. Many venerables in the 9 regions world needed saint crystals, so there was no need for them to hunt for them. Jun Xuanji had bought saint crystals twice in the Qing Emperor city, so he did not have many saint spirit stones left. There were saint crystals of various attributes stored in the commander's manor of the Grand Pure region. That was to say, as long as a cultivator contributed to the 9 regions world, they could go to the commander's manor to apply for saint crystals suitable for them. Night Sorrow did not want to kill for no reason, but there were many cultivators who gained experience through battle. Hunting saint-level monster beasts was normal, so he would never lack Saint crystals. While Night Sorrow was investigating the Azure World microcosm, a shocking piece of news came out of the world of reincarnation. The first commander of the Qing Emperor dynasty, Night Sorrow, and the Dark Ruler were engaged to be married. 1 year later, the wedding would be held in the Qing Emperor city. This news was too great. Before Mandela used the soul-nurturing liquid, she was already the #1 female in the world of reincarnation. After using the soul-nurturing liquid, her strength increased even more, and she became even more famous. She had the battle record of defeating other sky overlords, and no one dared to challenge her. Night Sorrow was the first commander of the Qing Emperor dynasty. He was also the promoter of the Eastern Region Alliance in the world of reincarnation. He was the one who made and carried out the alliance's plan. Although he was not a heaven master, his name was well known. Night Sorrow and Datura were engaged, so it was a marriage between two powerful forces. The Red Emperor was drinking tea in the Red Emperor Palace when Akatsuki and Chiwa came. The Red Emperor raised his head. "How is it? Do you admit defeat?" "We admit defeat. This is something that countless men did not even dare to think about for countless years." "He did it, and he did it," Akatsuki said. "This guy is really capable. He can make Datura surrender." "Amazing." Chiwa nodded. "His strategy is top-notch, and his combat strength is not far from top-notch." Chi-Du was blind. The Red Emperor sighed. "His combat strength is not far from top-notch?" "He is still far from it," Chiwa said. "Far from it. How did the Qing Emperor recover?" The Qing Emperor was besieged by the Heaven Master level puppets of the Celestial Sect. His dantian and meridians were destroyed by the destructive energy, and he was poisoned by the evil dragon's venomous centipede. But now he has almost recovered. Why? Because 3 years ago, Night Sorrow, who was a 7-star king, went to the black-yellow great world to challenge the Heaven and Earth Pavilion. Even a monarch could not succeed, but he did. This means that he had the combat strength of a monarch when he was a 7-star king. Now that he is a 7-star king, do you think he is weak? The Red Emperor looked at his 2 sons and said. Everyone knows about his strategies and tactics, but they ignore his own combat strength and cultivation talent. He rose to power in the Qing Emperor's dynasty because of his combat strength and cultivation talent. Later, he showed his talent in strategy. Akatsuki nodded. Datura is very insightful. Maybe in the eyes of the world, Night Sorrow is climbing up the social ladder. But who knows what will happen in the future? The Red Emperor said with some emotion. He admired Night Sorrow very much. Father, in the past, the Dark Abyss, the Red Emperor's kingdom, and the Qing Emperor's dynasty were allies. Now that they have an engagement, will it have an impact on us? Chiwa said with some concern. P says /forever free J phi C * petty. The Qing Emperor practices the way of a gentleman. Everyone knows that. Night Sorrow is a meritorious person. He will not cheat his allies. As for Datura, she is so arrogant that she disdains to do some things. So don't say such things again in the future. The Red Emperor shook his head. Some people said that those involved could not see clearly. But he knew very well what kind of people the other party was. Li Tianhu also had the same concern. Although he had a high cultivation and was a giant, he was only good at cultivation. He was not good at the ways of the world. But he was not afraid. They were allies. It was not a big deal for them to have an alliance through marriage. As long as the Black Fiend Valley was not affected and could get some benefits, it was fine. Yi Shang was investigating in the small Azure world. Someone was helping him with the wedding preparations. Jun Xuanji and Xia Qing knew almost everything about Yi Shang's social network. As long as they were close to him, they would send invitations, including Yi Shang's friends in the black-yellow great world and some of Yi Shang's friends during his growth period, such as Chen Baihe and Hei Feng from the Boundless Mountain and Bei Xing from the Big Dipper City. The most irritated person was the Thunder Fire Heaven Lord, the Samsara city lord. He did not receive an invitation. There were not many top forces and giants in the Samsara great world who were not invited. Only the celestial sect, the Thunder Cliff, and the Thunder Fire Heaven Lord were not invited. The Sima mansion was also invited. As for Yuan Dao Tian, there was no other way. He had closed his door and did not contact the outside world. The people of the Medicine Valley had all been notified, and they were all invited. Knight Sorrow did not gain anything in the small azure world, so he returned to the Tianxian world. Chapter 1350. As for the lack of results, Knight Sorrow was not anxious. It had only been a month. He was the king. As long as he did not die in battle, he would have a long life. After returning to the mysterious sky world, Knight Sorrow rested for 2 days in a small city near the spatial barrier. Then, he continued to explore the next world. After Knight Sorrow finished exploring the third world, he returned to the city in the sky. Seeing that Knight Sorrow had returned, his family members told Knight Sorrow about the situation. Everything was ready. Old Man Gu, invite all the acquaintances of Bamboo Garden Village over. Knight Sorrow said. When he said this, his heart felt heavy. He knew that other than Uncle Nyo, almost all the elders of Bamboo Garden Village were no longer around. The rest were all from the next generation. Original first release. Normally, people of the same age as Knight Sorrow should not be in this world. However, because of Knight Sorrow's outstanding performance, the children of Bamboo Garden Village who were the same age as Knight Sorrow had all embarked on the path of cultivation. After dinner, Yi Shang apologized to his 3 wives while drinking tea at the mansion's observation deck. Sikong Chuyu smiled. 6th senior sister and 9th senior sister don't mind. Naturally, I don't mind either. Ah Luo's personality is very good. She is also a good sister to us. Yujun and Qin Yan are already grown up. I still have to marry. This is a little embarrassing. Knight Sorrow felt a little awkward when he thought about this. Aunt Ah Luo is very good. She is a big figure and often gives us pointers in our cultivation. Actually, she has long seen me and my brother as family. After Qin Yan arrived at the observation deck, she poured a cup of tea for Knight Sorrow. She could also tell that her father was a little stressed. Ah Luo has helped me a lot over the years. Besides feelings, I am grateful and respect for her. Knight Sorrow said. After staying for 2 days, Knight Sorrow felt that there was still some time left. He left home to explore again. However, he still did not find anything. After exploring the 7th space, Knight Sorrow realized that he had explored more than half of it. There were still a few worlds left. The other was the barren space. At this moment, the dark abyss also had a visitor. It was a woman wearing a red dress. Datura, what's going on with you? How did you get into a fight with the heavenly monarch of Thunderfire? The woman in the red dress asked. Heavenly Lord Precious Fragrance, I don't want to either, but there's nothing I can do about it, Datura said. A few days ago, the Thunderfire Heaven Monarch came to our Sima residence to pay a visit. He said that you seem to have something against him, the woman in the red dress, who was also the Precious Fragrance Heaven Monarch, said. Why do I, Datura, have a problem with him? They didn't quarrel, didn't fight, and didn't target him, right? He has a guilty conscience. Datura sneered. Lei Hua's actions were a classic example of the guilty party complaining first. Datura, although we haven't been in contact for many years, we still have feelings for each other. Today, I came to congratulate you, but I shouldn't talk about this. Is there something that we don't know? Heavenly Lord Precious Fragrance asked. Datura nodded and told her about the shady business of the Thunderfire Heaven Monarch, the Dark Underworld Heaven Monarch, and the Burning Sky Tower Master, who had been taken in by the Thunderfire Heaven Monarch. There's actually such a thing. He's really playing with everyone in the palm of his hand. The Burning Sky Tower Master cultivates the 1,000-infant fist. We also know about this, but we didn't expect that the Thunder Fire Heaven Monarch would take in such a person. Heavenly Lord Precious Fragrance was extremely dissatisfied after hearing Datura's words. The Thunder Cliff is a force under his command, and Fong and Lei are his disciples. These years, he has hidden too deeply. Let's not talk about the forced purchase in the auction house. However, he shouldn't have taken in the Burning Sky Tower Master. Datura was angry when he mentioned this, because taking in the Burning Sky Tower Master was a slap to the Eastern District of the world of reincarnation. Sigh, I don't ask about the matters of the Sima Manor. Everything is handled by the Manor Lord. When he came to visit a few days ago, I was in seclusion. The Manor Lord agreed to his request and promised to support him in the next City Lord election. Fortunately, I wasn't there at that time, so the Manor Lord's promise had nothing to do with me. In other words, the Manor Lord only got one support in the Sima Manor. The Manor Lord owes him a favor, so there's no other way. Heavenly Lord Precious Fragrance said apologetically. I understand. These matters aren't handled by me, but by Night Sorrow. If he fights with Night Sorrow, he will definitely be pulled down. It's useless even if he gets support. Datura said. I should support you, but the Sima Manor can't support two sides. Heavenly Lord Precious Fragrance said. It's nothing. I'm very grateful that you came to congratulate me. Datura said. In fact, after Night Sorrow said that he wanted to kill the Dark Underworld Heavenly Lord, Datura didn't care who was on whose side. If he didn't understand, he would kill. After Night Sorrow finished exploring the 7th spatial world, he felt that he was lacking. This was because when he went to the 7th spatial world, he couldn't withstand the grinding of the spatial turbulence. After he entered the 7th spatial world, his protective energy was exhausted. The distance between the remaining spatial worlds and the Heaven Mystic world was getting bigger and bigger. Night Sorrow felt that if the spacetime willpower didn't reach Star King's level, he couldn't continue exploring. In addition, there were still 3 months before the wedding. Many guests would come, and he had to receive them. The original body also had to come out of seclusion. The clone could do many things, but only the original body could do the wedding candles. Yishang didn't intend to continue investigating, so he returned to the city in the sky and forged weapons for Gong Xian and the others. After that, Yishang forged a set of armor for each of them. Only then did he feel at ease. He didn't want anything to happen to any of his senior brothers, so he helped as much as he could. After doing all this, Night Sorrow decided to go to the 9 grand floors. He also brought his family. As for safety, Night Sorrow didn't have to worry. Those below the Sky Master level were no threat to the 9 grand floors. As long as a Sky Master level figure entered the Qing Emperor's city, the 3 giants of the Qing Emperor's dynasty would know. Tang Jianfeng arrived at the Qing Emperor's dynasty early. He accompanied the Qing Emperor and threw his son and daughter into the 9 grand floors. This time was different from the Sandalwood wedding. At the Sandalwood wedding, many people came because of the Qing Emperor. In the Black-Yellow Great World, only the people from the City Lord's mansion came to congratulate. However, this time, not only the people from the City Lord's mansion came, but the other 2 top forces also sent people. The people from the Sea King's mansion arrived. It was the Sea King's mansion master who came with his granddaughter, Hai Ling. The Wuling Mountain master also showed up. Night Sorrow had helped his daughter. Now that Night Sorrow and Datura were getting married, he had to come regardless of whether he was the man or the woman. The man, Night Sorrow, was a senior king. He was not qualified to talk to the Sky Master level figure. However, Wuling Villa owed Night Sorrow a favor, and Datura was a Sky Master level figure. It was necessary for him to be on good terms with him. Many cultivators from the 9 Grand Floors World Group also arrived. Night Sorrow came out to fight for the stability of the 9 Grand Floors World Group, which made many people feel grateful. Misty Rain stayed in the 9 Grand Floors. The officials of the Qing Emperor's palace were in charge of receiving guests. She stayed in the 9 Grand Floors mainly to guard against emergencies. Now, the safety of the 9 grand floors was the top priority. The second update has arrived. Thank you for and the unsealing of yesterday. Chapter 1351. Grand. Night Sorrow's wedding was much grander than Sandalwood's wedding. It was not because the Qing Emperor was biased, but because Night Sorrow's circle was wider. The 9 regions world aside, in the world where Night Sorrow came from, he was the realm lord, so he had the best relationships. It was the same in the 9 Clouds world group. He fought for the safety of the 9 Clouds world group. Those who were sensible all remembered Night Sorrow's favor. In the Samsara world, in the position of the Qing Emperor's dynasty, Night Sorrow was almost above everyone else. The Qing Emperor had announced that Night Sorrow was in charge of everything in the Qing Emperor's dynasty. In addition to the position of His Highness, he was also the regent. This was because Night Sorrow was unwilling to take over the position of the Emperor. He was willing to be the Emperor now. The Red Emperor's kingdom originally had a grudge against Night Sorrow, but after several joint battles and the fact that the Red Emperor and others were in the wrong, the Red Emperor and others no longer cared about it. The Li brothers of the Black Fiend Valley were not good at strategy. Now they recognized Night Sorrow as their backer. Since they had a chance to get close to him, they naturally had to express their gratitude. 3 top forces of the Black-Yellow Great World came, which was incredible in the eyes of practitioners. It was a great honor for the giants to attend the wedding in person. Tang Jianfeng was there for the sake of the Qing Emperor. They were close friends, but the master of the Wuling Mountain and the master of the Sea King Mansion were there for the sake of the Qing Emperor, and mainly because of Night Sorrow. They did not come to Sandalwood's wedding. Every time a friend or relative arrived, Yi Shang would go and greet them. Night Sorrow visited the VIP building where the master of the Sea King Mansion lived. Hai Ling, who was beside the master of the Sea King Mansion, was stunned. "Aren't you a 7-star king? It's only been 3 years, and you're already a 7-star king? If I'm lucky, I'll be able to break through." "Night Sorrow pays his respects to the Manor Lord," said Night Sorrow. "Ling, don't believe his nonsense. He's not even 160 years old yet, and he's already cultivated to the Star King realm. Is he just lucky every time?" the Sea King Manor's governor said as he glanced at Night Sorrow. The Sea King's Manor's master had a head of golden hair that draped over his shoulders. His eyes were bright and full of vigor as he sat there. Your lordship's words are a little too direct." Night Sorrow did not know how to respond to the Sea Monarch's words. "Kid, you were still showing off your abilities 3 years ago, and now you've learned how to be tactful," the Sea King Manor's master said. "It's not about being tactful. It's better to be humble in front of the seniors. Do things in a high-profile manner and behave in a low-key manner." Night Sorrow took out the heart-cleansing tea he had brought and began to brew it. Genuine 4-inch ha. I like to hear this, and it's also true. 7-star King Realm can enter the Heavenly Pavilion. You're the first person to do so since the formation of the Black-Yellow Great World. You have the right to be proud. Ling said that you don't plan to go again. Such a temperament is hard to come by. The Sea King Manor's master had said it as a joke at first, but now he was seriously sizing up Night Sorrow. "I won't go again. One should know when to stop. Heaven and Earth Pavilion gave me a chance, and I'm grateful. Some opportunities should be given to future generations," Night Sorrow said. "All right," with these words, the Sea King's Manor will befriend you. If you need anything, just give me a shout. I won't eat your soft jade tendon pill for nothing, the Sea King Manor's master said with a smile. All right. If anything happens to the Sea King's Manor, Night Sorrow will be able to do it. I won't delay receiving the message. Night Sorrow nodded. After talking with the Sea King Manor's master for a while, Night Sorrow went to meet the others. Leakless True Body. He actually cultivated the leakless true body. After Night Sorrow left, the Sea King Manor's master exhaled and said, "Grandpa, you mean that we can sense his cultivation, but the energy and aura in his body won't leak out at all, right? During a battle, the loss of energy is very small, which is a great advantage, Hai Ling said. That's right. It can increase one's combat strength, reduce energy consumption, and prevent evil from entering one's body. Most importantly, it's the only way to survive the trials of wind and fire. The Sea King Manor's master said something that Hai Ling didn't know. Seeing that his granddaughter didn't understand, the Sea King Manor's master explained it in detail. This guy was rumored to have a heavenly axiom artifact, and now he has the leakless true body technique. Isn't this a disaster? Hai Ling murmured in a low voice. He won't get into trouble easily now. The main thing is that his momentum has been built. With his current strength, a sovereign is no longer a match for him. Even a Sky Master would have to put in some effort to take him down in an instant. As long as he can't be taken down in an instant, someone will come to his rescue. He's married to Datura, and his master, mistress, and senior brother are all Sky Masters. Who would want to poke a hornet's nest for no reason? Amazing. When I first met him, I felt that he wasn't ordinary. Later on, I learned that this guy is terrifyingly powerful. His combat strength is strong, his strategy is good, and he does things well, Hai Ling said. When making friends, we have to put aside the concept of benefits. We don't want to take advantage of others. He has a body of merit, and being friends with him will invisibly increase one's luck. You'll slowly realize it, the Sea King Manor's master said. Hai Ling nodded. She didn't want their friendship to change. You should also go out and visit some seniors. You'll have to travel the world in the future. One more friend means one more path, the Sea King Manor's master said. Night Sorrow felt very tired. There were many guests that he had to visit. He left in the morning and only returned to the Nine Heavens Pagoda at night. You rascal, I wanted to find you for a drink, but you didn't show up for half a day. Sandalwood and Yi were chatting with Misty Rain in the Nine Heavens Pagoda. I can't help it. Since they're here, I have to pay them a visit. Some want to drink tea, and some want to drink wine. If I don't find an excuse, I don't know how long the two from the Black Fiend Valley will drag me to drink, Night Sorrow said. The two bears from the Black Fiend Valley. They're not good at strategy, but when they set their minds on something, they'll follow it to the end. There won't be any twists and turns, Misty Rain said with a smile. Haha. Yes, it feels like they're quite direct. I've also apologized for killing Li Ying today. But judging from their attitude, I think they're willing to let bygones be bygones, Night Sorrow said. That's good. This time, you're completely exposed in front of everyone. Getting to know these people will only bring you benefits. Although there are some things on you that will bring you trouble, as a sky pillar, they won't stab you in the back with a smile. Now that they've expressed their goodwill, they won't turn hostile so easily, Misty Rain said. Right now, the Sima residents and Yuan Dao Tian haven't made any moves. As for the Heavenly Lord of Thunder Fire, he can do whatever he wants. Since we've already shed all pretense of cordiality, I don't care how hostile they are, Night Sorrow said. Shed all pretense of cordiality? Misty Rain frowned. Yes, he went to look for the brothers from the Black Fiend Valley and made us look bad. Unfortunately, the Black Fiend Valley is now on our side. Li Tianba told me about it, but he didn't agree or reject it. My intention is to let the Black Fiend Valley drag it out and let the Heavenly Lord of Thunder Fire make some mistakes in his estimation, Night Sorrow said. When they were drinking earlier, Li Tianba and Night Sorrow had talked about some things. Chapter 1352. But the two of them came to the Qing Emperor's city. This will make the other party suspicious, Zhang Tan said. I don't think so. We fought the Black Fiend Valley until they asked for peace. Now that our Qing Emperor's dynasty is holding a wedding, it is reasonable for the Black Fiend Valley to come and congratulate us. Night Sorrow shook his head. That's right. This isn't much. The main thing is whether these two bears know how to act. If they act well, then the Thunder Fire Heaven Monarch will make a mistake and lose the City Lord election, Misty Rain said. After chatting with Misty Rain and Jean Tan for a while, Night Sorrow arrived at the Heaven Tiger Pass. He wanted to see if Qian Xiangwei and Qian Yu were used to it and what the situation was like. After arriving, Night Sorrow felt more at ease. Qian Xiangwei and Qian Yu were already cultivating the joint attack array with the team. This meant that they had already integrated into the god-slaying team. After inviting everyone to his wedding wine, Night Sorrow left. Captain is really impressive. He can even marry a heaven master now, Ling Long said to Nan Liyue. Haha. This is indeed impressive. I can't help but be impressed. Look at all of them. They all came out at the same time. They are so stupid, Nan Liyue said with a smile. Nan Liyue was already married to Lei Bao. Ho Jian and Ling Long's relationship was also not bad. It was just that they were still lacking in maturity. After returning to the 9-story tower, Night Sorrow took the teleportation array to the Dark City. He wanted to see Datura. During this period of time, he had been investigating the spatial worlds around the Heaven Mystic World and didn't see Datura. In the courtyard, Night Sorrow saw Datura. However, there was another lady in a red dress. She was the Precious Fragrance Heaven Monarch. Heavenly Lord Precious Fragrance, let me introduce you. This is my future husband, Night Sorrow. This is my good friend, Heavenly Lord Precious Fragrance. She's the wife of the Sima Manor's manor head, and also a famous big shot, Datura introduced. Night Sorrow greets the Heavenly Monarch. Night Sorrow cupped his hands towards the Precious Fragrance Heaven Monarch. Then, Night Sorrow sat down, and Datura got up to make some tea. You better treat Datura better in the future. Otherwise, I will settle the score with you, Precious Fragrance Heaven Monarch said. After that, Datura told Night Sorrow that the Precious Fragrance Heaven Lord already knew about the Thunderfire Heaven Lord. She didn't support the Thunderfire Heaven Lord, but her husband had already promised the Thunderfire Heaven Lord and couldn't go back on his words. After chatting for a while, the Precious Fragrance Heaven Lord left and went to the Dark Abyss VIP Tower. Night Sorrow and Datura were engaged, and they definitely had something to talk about. It wasn't appropriate for her to continue. After sending off the Precious Fragrance Heaven Lord, Datura looked at Night Sorrow. We used to know each other, but our relationship wasn't that good. We were just acquaintances, so I didn't mention this to you. Who knew that she would come? Seems like she still cherishes old friendships. The Sima Manor has someone who supports the Thunderfire Heaven Lord. Their numbers are the same as ours. We still have some plans to carry out, so we have to reduce their numbers. It can't be helped if we lose the strength of the world of reincarnation. Night Sorrow felt that he still had to kill. Since the Fengtian Manor head, who had the worst character, didn't appear, he would kill the Dark Heaven Lord first. Okay, but don't kill anyone before our wedding. Datura looked at Night Sorrow and said. Okay, I'll listen to you. I forgot to ask Xuanji about the investigation of the General of Wind and Thunder. I don't know what his character is like. If it doesn't work, kill him. The Thunderfire Heaven Lord wants to be the Lord of Reincarnation City. I won't let him get what he wants. Night Sorrow said. Night Sorrow chatted with Datura for a while and returned to the 9-Chong building. Night Sorrow received guests every day. The main reason was that there were more guests, and he couldn't leave anyone out. Some of the sovereigns of the 9-Chong world group came, and even Sovereign Yuan Ling came. He couldn't afford to offend Night Sorrow. This was an opportunity to resolve and ease the conflict, so he couldn't not come. Sovereign No Beginning and the 7 Rains Sovereign didn't come. Both of them were in seclusion. However, the people in charge of the 2 forces came. 7 Kills King of the Endless Mountain brought Hei Feng. The eldest disciple of the 7 Rains Sovereign, Piao King, also came. Their masters were in seclusion, but they had to come. This way, the difference in etiquette could be minimized. Sovereign Shinshao, Sovereign Purple Clouds, Sovereign Xian Tian, and Sovereign Sky Scorpio were all here. Yi Qianhua brought Shang Si to the Nine Chong building. No matter who it was, those who came to the Nine Chong building were giving face. Night Sorrow received all of them, regardless of whether they had any grudges in the past. Even Night Sorrow's family came out to receive Night Sorrow because Night Sorrow was too busy. There were 7 more days until the wedding. Night Sorrow's original body had also broken through. His spacetime willpower had entered the Star Monarch realm. There was no time for his cultivation to catch up. Night Sorrow left the spacetime pagoda. Senior, there are only a few more days until my wedding. I have to go back. Night Sorrow bowed to the void. A happy occasion refreshes one's spirit. Your cultivation has broken through and you have a beauty. You should be like Night Sorrow. The origin of the Samsara Palace appeared and nodded at Night Sorrow with a smile. Senior, thank you for your care. Night Sorrow will remember it. Night Sorrow bowed to the origin of the Samsara Palace and left the Samsara Palace. He took the teleportation array back to the Nine Chong building and merged with his clone. Looking at the chapter on the VV version, Junior Brother seems to have become stronger. Looking at Night Sorrow, Jean Tan said, just today, I improved again. My secondary attribute has leveled up. Night Sorrow said, double happiness. Sure. Jean Tan nodded. After thinking for a while, Night Sorrow's original body received the guests and spent time with his friends and family. His clone helped Yi complete the armor. It was a high-grade king artifact. Night Sorrow received the guests. Someone was in charge of the defense of the Qing Emperor's city. Summer City, Xian Daozi and Shangguan Hong led the Dark Guards, the Qing Emperor's guards, and the Imperial City Guards. Anyone who caused trouble in the Qing Emperor's city would be arrested. Knowing that Night Sorrow didn't like to see deaths, those who caused trouble would be caught and thrown into the demon's ceiling tower. They would be locked up until they died. However, Night Sorrow didn't know about this and didn't ask. There were many Heaven Masters in the Qing Emperor's dynasty and they were all on good terms. Anyone who caused trouble would be courting death. As for those who weren't Heaven Masters, the Qing Emperor's guards and the Imperial City Guards would deal with them directly. On this day, Night Sorrow came back from the VIP tower and saw Bloodthirsty and Bloodthirsty in the Nine Chong tower. The two were there to apologize to Night Sorrow. They now understood why Rowan said not to provoke Night Sorrow and why Datura valued Night Sorrow so much. Datura agreed to Yi Wuyo and Yu Qing's marriage proposal. After the engagement, he announced it in the Dark Abyss Whitebone Palace. Commanders, you're thinking too much. You're soldiers and so am I. How can there be right and wrong in war? Soldiers are soldiers. This is something I can do, Night Sorrow said. After hearing Night Sorrow's words, Bloodthirsty and Bloodthirsty felt relieved. After Night Sorrow married Datura, they would be in trouble if anyone came looking for trouble with them. At this time, someone came to report to Night Sorrow that the Shenwu Great World and the Zhanwu dynasty had also come to congratulate him. The Qing Emperor had already received them. Mistress, this disciple's status is not equal to theirs. However, this is disciple's wedding. Do you think disciple needs to go? Night Sorrow looked at Misty Rain and asked. 4th update. Are you all ready? Let's explode tomorrow. Chapter 1353. Well, you don't know them, so it's not appropriate for you to visit them. If you don't go, you'll be lacking in etiquette. How about this? I'll take you there. The Zhanwu dynasty and the Qing Emperor's dynasty aren't on good terms. I don't know why they're here, said Misty Rain. Misty Rain had stayed in the Shenwu Great World for some time, so she knew a lot about the Zhanwu dynasty. The Zhanwu dynasty was the most powerful force in the Shenwu Great World. Many years ago, the third emperor of the Zhanwu dynasty was defeated by the Qing Emperor during an expedition. Both sides had some disputes. Under Heavenly Lord Yufei's lead, the two of them arrived at the VIP building. At that moment, the Azure the Arch was conversing with an imperial lord of the Zhanwu dynasty. There were two other monarchs standing behind the emperor of the Zhanwu dynasty. Brother Qing, other than congratulating your disciple on his wedding, I'm here for another matter. My youngest son admires Brother Qing's princess, so I'm here to propose marriage, said the emperor of the Zhanwu dynasty, who was wearing a long robe with tiger stripes. It's up to Qing Luan herself. Her children and grandchildren have their own lives. I won't interfere with her marriage. As long as she's willing, we can talk about anything, said the Qing emperor. Brother Qing, you must be joking. Children's matters can be handled by their parents. Isn't this just a matter of a word from Brother Qing, said an elder in a tiger-patterned robe. He was the second sovereign of the Zhanwu dynasty, Fierce Tiger Celestial Lord. Lord of Heaven Fierce Tiger, I'm not joking. I won't interfere with our children's marriage, said the Qing emperor. Brother Qing, are you not giving me face? Lord of Heaven Fierce Tiger's face turned cold. So what if I'm not giving you face? If I give you face, you'll be respected. If I don't give you face, you're nothing. Why did you come to our Qing emperor's dynasty to threaten us? Misty Rain, who had been silent all this while, couldn't stand it anymore when she brought Night Sorrow in. Qing Shangjuan, this is also your intention. Heaven Monarch Fierce Tiger stood up. All this time, I, Qing Shangjuan, have always prioritized peace. If I could avoid falling out with you, I would. But since you came to my house and threatened me, then you can't blame anyone. See the guest out. Qing Emperor stood up. He was already infuriated. Firstly, the other party didn't respect him. Secondly, the Fierce Tiger Lord of Heaven didn't reply when Misty Rain spoke, which was also a sign of contempt. Haha. Very well, I came to ask for your hand in marriage, but you didn't give me any face. Just wait and see. Heaven Monarch Fierce Tiger flicked his sleeves and left the VIP tower. Both parties had completely fallen out with each other. Is he stupid, or does he not know the way? Night Sorrow was a little puzzled. He didn't understand the conversation at the beginning, but the Fierce Tiger Lord of Heaven was a little too arrogant in the latter part of the conversation. The Qing Emperor's words were very clear. It wasn't a rejection, so he started to throw his weight around. Latest news square root L, section J+1. He's not stupid, nor does he not know the way. The Zhanwu dynasty is the overlord of the Shenwu Great World. They are used to doing things arrogantly and think that this is their territory, Misty Rain said. I originally thought that it would be good to live peacefully, but it seems like we still have to fight when we have to, Qing Emperor said. The Zhanwu dynasty has absolute authority in the Shenwu Great World. They do things shamelessly. The first emperor is even more perverted. He has countless beauties in his harem. As long as he sees a woman and is aroused, he will do those shameless things, Misty Rain said coldly. They are demonic beasts that have taken human form. They have a bestial nature in their bones. This cannot be changed. Everyone, be careful. If he feels that he has lost face, it is possible that he will resort to any means, the Azure Emperor said. Night Sorrow nodded. This kind of thing couldn't be avoided. It was equivalent to the other party coming to bully them. At this moment, Red Emperor walked in. What happened? Why did Arrow leave in a huff? In the circle of Sky Masters, the Fierce Flame Lord of Heaven was the second emperor of the War Tiger dynasty. Therefore, many Sky Masters addressed him as Eru. He came to propose marriage. I said that it's a matter of children and that the children should make the decision. Then he turned hostile, Qing Emperor said with a smile. So what if he turned hostile? This is a happy occasion for the Qing Emperor's dynasty. That guy didn't even look at the situation. Red Emperor shook his head. He didn't expect the Fierce Tiger Lord of Heaven to do this. Then, Night Sorrow and Misty Rain returned to the Nine Chong building. One problem after another. Heavenly Monarch Yufei muttered. Seeing Night Sorrow's confusion, Misty Rain told Night Sorrow that the War Tiger dynasty was arrogant and despotic in the Shinwu Great World. The fierce Tiger Lord of Heaven would definitely find trouble with them. However, Night Sorrow didn't think much of it. The possibility of the forces in the Shinwu Great World starting a war in the reincarnation world was very low. Some sneaky actions were nothing to be afraid of. Misty Rain didn't say anything. She didn't want Night Sorrow to worry. Night Sorrow really didn't understand the tyranny of the War Tiger dynasty. In Night Sorrow's mind, stabilizing the reincarnation world was the most important thing. The Thunder Fire Lord of Heaven was a despicable person. It was hard to say what he would do in the future. Therefore, he had to drive him away. If the Thunder Fire Lord of Heaven was only the leader of a force, it wouldn't matter. However, he controlled the reincarnation city. This matter was too big. The Thunder Fire Lord of Heaven had the city lord seal. Everyone in the reincarnation city had to be wary of him. Then, Night Sorrow looked at Jun Xuanji. Xuanji, have you investigated the Thunder Fire Lord? What's his character like? He doesn't have any principles or standards. It's like a power struggle. He has massacred cities many times. He doesn't leave a single person alive. Women and children are all killed, Jun Xuanji said. If he doesn't have any principles, then we don't have any either. Let's not talk about it for now. Let's deal with my wedding first. Then, we'll see how to deal with it. Since we're living in this world, we have to live a peaceful life. At the very least, we have to let the people around us live without threats. We have to let Weo live without worries, Night Sorrow said. Misty Rain nodded. He liked Night Sorrow's philosophy. He didn't seek to dominate the world, but he wouldn't allow others to step into his territory. Night Sorrow then chatted with his wife and Xueshi. They came over as well. Night Sorrow didn't want his wife to feel left out. No matter how many years they had been together, he couldn't let his love and care for her be reduced. He knew that it wasn't easy for his wife to worry about him when he was away. Night Sorrow, you know us, and we know you. Don't feel pressured. We know what's going on. We know that it wasn't your intention. Actually, it's pretty good. Luo gets along well with us, and our family is harmonious. Isn't this what we want? Sikong Chuyu said. After being married for so many years, Sikong Chuyu and the others knew what Night Sorrow was thinking and worried about. It's been hard on you guys, Night Sorrow said. 13, this isn't you. You're high-spirited and never admit defeat. Actually, it's your ability to marry a sky pillar. Moreover, we all like Luo, Yang Lei said with a smile. I understand, Night Sorrow nodded. Night Sorrow emphasized to his family that they couldn't leave the 9 grand floors. Now that he had offended many people, danger was everywhere. In the past, he had opponents. Now, there was the Zhanwu dynasty. You're tuning into the Dreamy Love Stories YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.